Welcome to Pack Talk Podcast, episode 79. I'm honored today to have my good friend, fellow Canine Revolution alumni, and she fosters for Unoya Rescue.
Yes.
Her husband has a local business in Charleston called Event Kitchen, and he'll be on the podcast in the future. Her name's Jessie Maher.
Yes.
And she's a supporter of the podcast, a listener, and she was like, hey, I want to talk.
I have questions.
We got questions.
Yes.
We have input.
Yes.
She has helped me modify the podcast over time.
Cool.
So, because as we've met up for dog training stuff, you've been like, hey, what about this? What about that? So you've given me valuable input, so thank you.
Well, it's been such an interesting journey from my side, going from just a regular Joe, not knowing anything. I got a dog. I love my dog. My dog happens to be super stable and cool.
Bear.
I thought all dogs were that way. And then I stumble across Stan first, our first foster.
Stan the man.
Stan the man, who's a great dog.
Yeah.
Was a really solid introduction to, I guess, what you guys do. And he was easy.
Yeah.
He was super easy. And I actually told Unoya after our experience with Stan.
Yeah.
Mark and I were like, we'll take all the Canine Revolution dogs. We're like, this.
Yeah.
Like, we know the system.
Yeah.
Like, we know how this all works. This is easy. They come and this is a slice of heaven.
Yeah.
And then we got Lena.
Yeah. You learned that there's different dogs.
There's different dogs. Well, I remember picking her up and you were like, this isn't Stan. If you said it once, you said it a dozen times. I was like, oh, God. Okay.
She's a great dog.
And I do feel like I need to plug her a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we will probably talk about some of her problems, but she's absolutely incredible.
And she's up for adoption.
And she's up for adoption. Like, she's really, really a phenomenal dog. And I can see in her, like, the before and after Canine Revolution, which is very, very cool. Like, I can see exactly the work you guys do here, which is very incredible.
Yeah. And for the listener, she is hanging out with us today.
Yeah.
She's over here on the side.
Peacefully on her spot, just checking out nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. With her big boy collar on. Lena.
Yep.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk about a few things.
Yeah. We'll talk about whatever you want.
Logistically, I'm just very curious how things run here.
Yeah.
Again, just getting a sneak peek of, like, getting the aftermath of a dog going through your program. Like, how does it all work?
Yeah.
And then I kind of wanted to go a little bit into what's the ideal relationship between dog and human? Because I feel like that means two different things for the human and for the dog.
Right.
So what is best for the animal?
Right.
Because I think we all get dogs. We want love, snuggly, couch.
Right.
And that's not necessarily, I've come to discover what's great for every dog.
Right.
So how do we become the people that our dogs need us to be?
Yeah.
Is really kind of what I want to get to the bottom of.
Okay.
But first things first, I noticed the second time I met you and I picked up Lena, you and I had done previous foster stand together.
Right.
Immediately.
And we did like one or two follow-ups and then you were good to go.
Yes, Stan was so great. But I was impressed with you because you remembered my dog's name, my personal dog, Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Is hospitality an intentional part of Canine Revolution?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, you do that on purpose.
Yeah, like I was telling you the other day, the listener doesn't know, but I saw Jessie and Mark and Lena on Saturday, this past Saturday. It's currently Tuesday. And we talked a little bit about what we do developmental wise, which is we focus a lot on human psychology, human relations, and a very important thing for humans is someone saying your name. Like if someone says your name, Jessie, you know, that makes you feel good.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so there are certain things that people care about, like their dog's name, which makes them feel good and makes them feel trusted. And also from our perspective, it's good to stay focused on, you know, who all is around, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really easy to not really pay attention to those details. And so you kind of lose the connection, you know, with the people, which I feel like me and you have a good connection and we have a good, you know, me, you, Mark, we have good, I feel like, you know, when I'm hanging out with you guys, it's not like I'm working with you guys. It's like I'm hanging out. We're talking about dogs, you know what I'm saying? We talk about nutrition, we talk about exercise, we talk about dogs. But anyway, so like, that's what I want with everybody. Yeah. Now, not everybody's the same way. We all have different personalities, and some people don't care about getting to that level of relationship.
Yeah.
But for us and our trainers, we always push to, you know, really know the names of the people and the dogs that we're all working with, even if we train one dog out of a home and they have 4 dogs, we try to know the names of the other dogs. We try to relate to the other dogs, or if someone has kids, we try to know their kids' names. Mm-hmm. And it's super hard when you're dealing with, you know, a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. But for me, I think I figured out to associate certain things, or when I walk into a house, I may have forgotten some kids' names, for example, and I'll start asking questions to trigger my memory on the kids' names, and I'll remember, and then I can talk to the kids with their names. So it is a deliberate thing we do. It's easier for some of us than others. You know, I think for me it's a little bit easier, maybe because I've been doing it longer. Mm-hmm. But we focus on that. We train ourselves on that, try to stay focused on that, because it does, I think it means a lot to people, you know.
I mean, clearly it's stuck in my mind.
Yeah, obviously. Like, I didn't know that till just now. I met this guy one time through a foster, twice, you know, through a foster situation, and you remember my dog's name. And I think people, certainly with dogs, care that you know their dog's name. Absolutely.
So, and then
sometimes I'll even like I didn't do this with you, but sometimes when I leave someone's house, I'll go into my phone and edit their contact to add all the names of their family so that I can remember later, you know?
Well, that was going to be one of my follow-up questions is what's the cheat sheet? Like, how do you, is there a file, like you have a file somewhere of all of the...
You can't keep track of it. It's too much.
Yeah.
So the people that I have difficulty, I will like add their, you know, their kids' names or their dogs, other dogs' names into my phone for their contact. And I'll just try to ingrain it in myself. And then on their training contract, which we didn't do with you guys, you know, Yonoya did that for the dogs you're fostering. But on the training contract, we try to capture their name, their spouse's name, their dog's name, so that we can just pull up the contract if we need a refresher on names or anything like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but other than that, there's no real cheat sheet for me.
But you even had a video, I think it was on YouTube, that I watched where, and I might not have the details correct, but you spontaneously ran into a man, maybe a couple. Yeah. And you're like, hey, name, how's your dog's name? I was like, that is incredible. Like, that is impressive.
I got lucky with that one because as they're walking, my brain is going. And I'm like, okay, cycling through all names. I'm really good with faces, but not names.
Yeah.
But luckily, I was able to cycle through my brain and get their names.
Yeah, I mean.
So yeah, that does happen.
I guess that nutrition and fitness is like, it works.
There have been times that I'll be like in Lowe's and I'll see someone I know. I'll be like, oh shoot, I don't know who this is. I duck behind a shelf or something. Yeah. I look them up. I'm like trying to look them up, their contract. I'm looking them up on Facebook to try and remember their name and their spouse's name. And then I'll find it. I'm like, okay, good to go. I'll rack it in my brain. Then I'll walk around. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Hey, Sydney, you know, whatever. Like that has happened before.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do, you know.
So then how do you, if somebody calls or they contact, they're like, hey, I've been through the Canine Revolution program. This is my dog. We need a follow-up. Do you remember that dog and their issues specifically? Like that's again, like all in the mental bank?
If it's one of my dogs that I've trained myself, you know, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
If it's one of the trainer's dogs, like let's say, you know, Lexi, for example, let's say she trained a dog, they're calling, I'm the one on the phone with them. I might have to look up we do have like a file with their contract, their vaccination records, their update videos. We keep all that in like one file for that dog.
Yeah.
So I might have to breeze through there to kind of refresh on a couple things, but I'll usually be able to remember the dog, remember what was going on, remember, okay, these people might be struggling with this, so that's what they're calling for, those types of things. But the trainer that trained those dogs will remember them. It's just like, I think spending 4, 6, 8 weeks with the dog, I think you just imprint with that dog, you build a relationship. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you go from there. There was like one case where I trained a dog like literally 4 years ago. We did our follow-ups 4 years ago. I haven't seen or heard from them since, and I stumbled upon them, and they're like, hey, Chad. And I was like, felt so bad. I was like, hey, how you guys doing? And I was like, hey, guys, honestly, I forgot your dog's name. What's your dog's name? I didn't have time to look it up. And so if that happens, I try to just like own it and be like, hey, you know, it's been so long, you know, and then we're cool, you know.
There's actually this random dog trainer situation that I follow on Instagram, and that guy never knows the dog's name.
Really?
He's always talking to the camera guy. What's this dog's name? I'm
really?
Like,
He's saying that to the camera?
Yeah.
You know what it is? What the dude's name is?
It's like the Good Dog Company out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't remember the name, that's a problem.
I know.
Especially if you have the dog with you.
Yeah, it
you know
bummed
what
me
I'm saying?
out. I was like, this is not the Canine Revolution
Unfollow.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many dogs do you guys have here at any given moment?
Our kennel capacity is 37 dogs, but in general, each trainer will train 5 dogs at a time. We have 5 trainers, so that's around 25 or so dogs at any given time in training. Then we have the boarding dogs.
Yeah.
So that extra capacity goes to boarding dogs, but it's, priority, first come, first serve. So a lot of times we have to turn people away. I think we had to turn you guys away 1 or 2 times with Lena. And it's unfortunate. We don't want that to happen, but we can't have 100 dogs here all the time.
No, not safely. Yeah.
And the other thing too is, we have 5 trainers, but we also have a number of training assistants. Our team right now is around 20-ish people total, and that includes Ben, who does video. But I will say, Ben has handled kennel operations before many times.
You would have had to.
Many times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we're like, we need help in the kennel or whatever, like, hey, Ben, we got to pull you off the video duties. You got to go in, and he's good to go. I think Stan was here one time when he was working. He was hanging out with Stan. I'm like, you got to work some other dogs, Ben.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
But
awesome.
the kennel capacity is technically 37, but
Okay.
it could fluctuate based on, like sometimes I do less dogs because I have to take care of other business things, so I'm not doing a full load of dogs, And if a trainer's going on vacation, they like slowly wean off their dogs until they have no dogs, and they go on vacation, and they come back, they start picking up dogs again for training. So it depends on the cycle, but holidays are always busy.
Sure.
Like spring break's always busy because lots of boarding, people want boarding, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I'll show you around once we get done with this.
Tour. So what is a basic day in the life of a dog who's coming here for training?
Yeah. So we start at 6:30 a.m. That starts with our training assistants. And the start time has changed over time. Like whenever it was just me back in the day when I'm first starting, I'd be starting at like 4 a.m. But then people are like calling me after their dog goes home, and they're like, my dog wakes up at 4 a.m. They got to poop. I'm like, oh crap, I was getting up too early. So we had to make it more realistic for people, So then we changed it to like 7 a.m. for a period of time. Now it's 6:30. That seems to be a good time. So we start at 6:30. The dogs go to the bathroom. They go out one at a time.
Okay.
Generally, there's 3 training assistants on shift. Sometimes there's 4. Sometimes there's 2 if people called out or whatever. But generally, there's 3 training assistants, or maybe a trainer might be here that early to get dogs out to go to the bathroom. When they're going out, our whole mission is training. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like everyone go to the bathroom. It's like, hey,
nothing's casual.
Right. Everything is geared toward getting this dog's training goals accomplished in the training time we have. You know what I'm saying? And 4 weeks, for example, is like our standard program. It seems long to a lot of people, but it's actually very short when we're talking about modifying behavior and changing behavior. So everything literally has to be geared toward the goal. You know what I'm saying? So we start off at 6:30. We're taking dogs to go potty. We're doing some training drills, going potty, coming back from going potty. It's about 30 feet from our door to the potty area. That's what we call it. And the potty area is probably like, 30 feet by 30 feet. It's a pretty big area. And so anyway, then they go potty, they come back in, they get their food and water in their kennel, unless they have special feeding requirements, like trainers might be hand feeding dogs to get the relationship to a higher level if that's needed. Not all dogs need that, you know what I'm saying? After they finish their feeding and water routine, then they go back out to go potty again, then they go off to do training, exercise, or something else depending on what's going on. Some dogs go to like a playtime session, some dogs get exercise, they walk on our trail, or they might be on the treadmill depending on that dog, you know what I'm saying, or they might be doing training drills with trainers or training assistants. It literally depends on what all's happening. And so basically that usually we finish the feeding and potty routines by like 9 a.m. For every dog. And so by 9 a.m. all dogs are starting exercise, they're starting training. Like when you pulled up, there's a bunch of dogs on their spots. We're practicing those constantly throughout the day. Dogs are getting rotated on the spots, rotated on treadmill to get more exercise and walking and just training drills, you know what I'm saying? And during the summertime from about 12 to 4, we do tend to keep most dogs indoors or in shade because it's just so hot, you know, and like Lena, for example, might have some issues breathing if it's like super hot, or like a bulldog, you know, bulldogs, you got to be really careful with them, you know, French bulldogs too, any dog with like a short snout.
Yeah, I've been reading a little bit about that lately since
Yeah.
the Kennel Club named the Frenchie like the dog of the year.
Oh, did they really?
And so all these people are coming out being like, uh-oh.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get Frenchies. They're going to die.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But like we are very particular about that, and we're paying very close attention to the dog and any signs that something's wrong. You know, maybe they're breathing too hard. Get the dog back in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, for example, in the summertime.
Yeah.
So 12 to 4 in general, most dogs are staying in the AC. They might be in their kennel. They might be on a spot. Maybe they're going with the trainer into town. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to an appointment, the trainer might take it with them or keep it in their vehicle with the AC running, something like that. Or take it to like Lowe's or Home Depot for distraction work training or socialization training. And we pick those places because there's AC during the summer. So we get in there, we stay in the store for 30, 40 minutes, whatever, we come back out. You see what I'm saying?
And are those guys fine with you guys training in there?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They're
We've
like,
never had any problems,
Yeah.
and the main thing is if we have a dog that poops in there,
Oh.
we got to clean it up immediately.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Which Ben, the video guy, has to obviously stand by and guard the poop when the trainer has to go get paper towel or something to clean it up if it's a messy one. You know what I'm saying? But we try to be like as courteous. We don't want to disrespect anybody. We don't want to disrespect any public place that would allow dogs to come in there. We don't want to create a bad rap for dogs or dog trainers in general. So let's say we take a dog to Home Depot, for example, and it's a premature trip. Maybe we miscalculated that the dog was ready for that. We get in there, they're like freaking out. They're, reacting at things because they're scared or something. We immediately exfil out of there, work on it some more, take them back. Once they're good to go, then we can spend time in there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also during the summertime, from like that middle of the day heat, we focus on shaded areas. So like back here, it's pretty shady, so we can come back here, walk the trails, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then from about 4 to 9:30 p.m. is like our evening shift. So that's the training. There's another shift of training assistants that show up at 4. They take the dogs out to go to the bathroom again. They do the evening feeding. Usually that's starting at 5 is when the feeding's starting. And then by 6, all that's done. So then they're back to training, exercise, and do whatever needs to be done with the dogs until 8:30 p.m. At 8:30 p.m. is what we call our last potty. So every dog gets a chance to go out again for several minutes, make sure they get everything out of their system.
Yeah.
And then everything is done around 9:30-ish, and then we're shutting down, rolling out. Or, I live here. I live here, obviously.
Yeah.
So if something happens, I'm always here. But
Yeah.
training assistants are rolling out at 9:30. But yeah, basically from 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., we got stuff going on, and the dogs by 9:30, they're ready to hit the rack.
Yeah,
you know
I bet.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I bet. I bet they go home.
And they learn a lot of stuff. It's like some dogs in the past, maybe they get too much training in a day and they're mentally exhausted. So we're like, hey, we got to balance that out. Don't overtrain, like mentally. It's super hard to physically overtrain most dogs, but don't overtrain them mentally. So you got to balance that out. Some dogs can go all day with training. So it's like based on the dog that's at hand, depends on what happens detailed throughout the day. You see what I'm saying, with that particular dog.
And is it really just how sharp are they still? How engaged are they still?
Yeah, it's like, you can tell. And that's something I'm constantly training the trainers too, is detecting these things, because a trainer, for example, might be focused on one thing and not seeing the big picture. So that's when it helps having someone else there to say, hey, so-and-so looks kind of tired. You think they should get a break? Oh, yeah. That kind of stuff, Or maybe a trainer's getting frustrated at a dog because maybe the dog and the trainer are not seeing eye to eye. And it's like, it always helps to have that outside person step in and say, hey, so-and-so looks frustrated. Let's take a break, and then that always helps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's something I hadn't considered, but I know even working with Lena, the frustration gets intense.
Yeah.
It used to, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But having a team to rely on, somebody else to point that out to you, somebody else to hand the dog over to so you can walk away for a minute would be super valuable.
Absolutely.
Rather than just you and the dog all day, every day.
And that's one of the valuable things about the way that we've set ourselves up, is like we're a team and we have multiple people at all times versus someone that's training dogs by themselves. It's just you, which is how I used to be.
Yeah.
And so if I get frustrated, I have no one to help me detect that. You see what I'm saying? And work around that or work through that. It's like just me. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, there are a lot of trainers that are out there just doing things by themselves, and it's honestly probably too much work for them based on what they're doing, depending on how they're doing it, you know?
Burnout.
Yeah, because I mean, I was doing that and I didn't really get burnt out because I just don't care. I'm just going all the time. But I could see definitely you lose track of things, you know what I'm saying? Or you start to lose quality of work or whatever, you know?
So did you have to train yourself and then you pass that along to the people who work here? Like, how do you stay cool, calm, and collected when this stuff it can get really heated?
Oh, yeah. And that's something I've had to develop myself over time, too. Even after I'm training other trainers, it's like I still have to take time and assess myself and make sure that I'm being as calm as I can, you know, or taking a step back. We call it detaching, taking a step back. Okay, let me take a break myself, you know, put the dog up, take a break, and then, all right, let's do it again. Let's see how we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, what else I got back here on my list? What do people contact you the most about?
Everything.
Yeah.
You know, puppies.
Okay.
Obviously, around the holidays are probably more puppy requests, you know what I'm saying?
And are those people just trying to get ahead of any issues that might arise? They recognize they want to have a well-trained behaved
I think
dog?
so. I hope that some of the content we put out maybe reaches people and brings awareness to, like, training and how important it is.
Yeah.
Because, like, back when I was younger, it was like training wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, like, training was literally, you don't even think about dog training. Do you see what I'm saying?
I feel like just dog ownership has skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's having a moment.
Right.
Dogs are having a moment.
Right.
In time.
Which is good overall.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, we get a lot of puppies around those times. And then I would say anxiety, insecurity are big ones. A lot of dogs today have anxiety, unfortunately. And that's mainly due to just understimulation, which is the dog's not getting its instinctual needs met. So people aren't giving their dog the exercise the dog needs. You know, they watch a movie with the Belgian Malinois in it. They go out, they buy a Belgian Malinois. They don't realize what they got, and it's eating their walls because it's anxious about life because it has no outlet for anything. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They thought it was just going to be a dog that just sits in their house, and this dog's eating their house, you know? Or insecurity. Unfortunately, a lot of dogs have insecurity because there's multiple reasons why insecurity starts. It could be genetic. It could be something happening early in the dog's life that just compounds over time, you know? But usually there's like early in the dog's life, there's something going on. The dog feels nervous. It learns that if it runs away, shies away, barks at something, it can stay away from this thing that makes it nervous. And that escalates over time, and people don't realize it until it's, I don't want to say too late, but until later when it's a big problem, because insecurity is often the root to a real aggression. And so now we have a dog that's biting people, that's attacking other dogs, but the root cause is that it's actually insecure. And it's nervous about dogs, or it's nervous about people, and it has learned over time that if you bite them, it keeps them away from you, or you can control the situation. So that's a common, behavioral thing that we see. I would say anxiety and insecurity are probably the biggest behavioral problems that we deal with. And aggression, obviously, but the thing is, aggression a lot of times is rooted in insecurity. Most aggression cases are an insecure dog that has compounded, and now we have to reverse all that time. Right. You know, and work with that dog's mind. So
it's not necessarily this is a dog out just to F up another dog.
There's literally no dogs like that. It all starts with some kind of behavioral small thing that has compounded over time. Yeah. And the two things that aggression roots in, or is rooted in, number one being insecurity, number two being dominance. And a dominant dog wants to control things. It doesn't like certain things, so it wants to control them. Insecure dog is scared of things. They want to keep it away. They learn if they can control that thing or bite out at it, that it will stay away from them. So what happens is, like I said, they start off as little things, and you can see it in puppies, which is crazy. Because I've literally taken the trainers to like a puppy litter before, and I've said, you know, pick out this behavior. I've said, like, tell me what dog's anxious, tell me what dog's insecure, tell me what dog's dominant. And there's little things you can see with like 8 to 10 week old puppies where it could mean that if not addressed, that it could result in a big problem later in the dog's life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Is there one that you think is more problematic than the other? Or is it all just...
I mean, they have to be handled differently.
Yeah.
The dominant dog wants to control things, so it has to literally understand what its role is and what's accepted, what's not accepted.
Yeah.
Way easier if you start with a puppy versus a 7-year-old dominant dog. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Insecure dog's scared of things, so it's like focusing on building confidence and building up socialization with that dog, which a lot of people think that socialization is that the dog has to interact with people, places and things and dogs, but it doesn't. It just has to have a positive experience in close proximity to people, places, things, and dogs. And then after that's done, then you move to what I call the interaction phase, where now you are interacting, but the dog already has a solid foundation and positive experience. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things with sort of when we were limited on space with Lena, that I'm like, well, at least I can socialize her to different things, because she's, I mean,
she got little ants.
Yeah. Well, and just the things that she clearly is, I'll say, insecure around, for lack of a better word. The other day she had well, definitely dogs, but the other day she had a serious moment with a piece of felt on the ground.
She wanted to tear it up.
So something I've learned from you guys is that socialization isn't necessarily dog on dog or dog on people. It's just how can I, we'll be close to this traffic. Maybe I can get her used to these sounds and these big trucks, and, having her be calm while I give her some treats. And,
that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is the interaction phase, and not everyone needs to go to the interaction phase.
Yeah.
Depends on the dog, depends on the, obviously puppies, I'll push them to go to the interaction phase, but older dogs, it depends on the people. Do they really care about that, or do they just want to be able to have a dog not freaking going off on everything?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, what you've experienced is, let's say the dog, and this is what is horrible about people giving up their dogs, you know what I'm saying? But let's say the dog has a relationship with the people they're with and they're good to go. But then these people are like, I'm giving up my dog for whatever reason. I don't know why people can do that. But then they give up their dog, and now it goes to somebody else, and the dog is completely different with that new person because everything it knew and its relationships are non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
And you kind of went through that with Lena a little bit yourself,
Well, yeah, and it's something that, we can circle back around to a little bit later. But the engagement work has been such a game changer.
Yeah.
And that's something I just, as a regular person, you just don't know about.
Right.
You don't recognize that there's this whole component of your relationship with your dog that is so important, and you can do so much to build it.
Yeah.
And it completely changes the dynamic and her behavior and all of this other stuff.
Well, there's a lot of people, too, that just don't want to do that work, They're just like, I just want this, and that. And it's like it's more complicated than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have some questions about that a little later on too, but to kind of try and keep my thoughts together, when somebody does contact you, and you are taking in a dog, is there an assessment to kind of figure out, okay, what is the underlying behavior? Is it the insecurity or the anxiety or the dominance, or does it matter? And how does that affect the path of training?
Right. I mean, for the most part, nowadays, what we've done is we're always changing. We're always developing. We learn lessons every day, and then we make a slight adjustment to our procedures. But for the most part, nowadays, our intake process will hash that out, the questions we ask, the certain things that we're trying to delve into. We will, again, all the trainers over time, we have developed, we've tried to develop skill sets of getting information that we need by asking questions, the right questions, or using questions to take us down a certain pathway in the owner's mind or the dog's mind, so that we can really understand, okay, that's what's really going on. The owner may not know we even know that, but we know, okay, that's what's going on. That's what we're going to have to focus on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people do want us to come do a consultation, and we'll definitely do that. We'll drive out to their place. We don't want the dog to be pulled out of their environment most of the time and brought to us, because the dog's not going to behave like they behave at their house.
Okay.
And most of the problems with most people are at their house.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't agree with training companies that force the person to come to their facility for the consultation, because that's not a real assessment of the dog. Like, you need to be in that environment.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes we get bit when we walk in, and that's part of the job. But if we have a dog that we know is a bite risk, we'll usually tell the owners, hey, keep him on a leash until we can get in there and assess him. And there's been many times, like I remember when I was training Chris vividly, I took him to a consultation. We knew this dog was like a biter. We get in there, and I look at the dog in 2 seconds. I'm like, this dog ain't about it, you know? So I'm like, just give me the leash. And they were like terrified to hand me the leash. The dog was going off on me like crazy, and the owner's just holding it. I can't even hear him in their own house because the dog's barking so loud.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, just give me the leash. So they give me the leash. I literally bring the dog to me, and I just relaxed, and the dog just shut up. He was quiet and just sat there.
So what does that mean?
It's just the energy. Like, the dog is connected to that owner.
Yeah.
That owner is conditioned themselves subconsciously. It's not their fault, but they're subconsciously conditioned to react a certain way when they grab the leash. That reaction to the leash is a trigger to the dog. So then the dog knows, okay, I'm supposed to bark right now. And so when they get handed to a stranger, they don't even know, and the stranger just doesn't give a crap, you know what I'm saying, and is relaxed. The dog's like, okay, it kind of weirds the dog out for a second. Then like, okay, I'll just sit here, you know. But there have been dogs where I have miscalculated as well, and I grab the leash and I get bit, and I'm like, dang it. But it's part of the job, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I remember Chris was a apprentice at that time, and he couldn't believe it. And I was like, I mean, you just have to learn to assess the dog and know, you know, most likely based on your experience what that dog may or may not do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because safety is priority too.
Yeah, I bet you've learned that the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I forgot where I was going with that. I don't know if I lost your question there, but.
Well, do you remember what it was that you saw in that dog? Like, how did you know in that moment? And that might be, like, honestly more intuitive at this point than anything you can put into words.
I could tell the dog was insecure.
Yeah.
I could tell it was insecure. And an insecure dog doesn't really want to do anything. It just wants to be okay.
Yeah.
So if I was to grab that leash, start talking to the dog, try to reach down and pet it, that would have triggered it. But the fact that I just took the leash and we were just like hanging out, I didn't pay it any attention.
Yeah.
The dog's like, okay,
yeah.
This dude's not going to try and mess with me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I would imagine, like, for dogs like that, and I think for dogs like Lena, who I would, in human words, describe as like severe ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah.
The training is such a relief to them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You will literally see it when you have a dog that has ADHD, basically, where they can't sit still.
Yeah.
They're restless. They can't focus. They're just all over the place.
Yeah.
When their mind finally clicks and they're able to calm themselves and get that self-control, it's just, they're totally different.
Yeah.
You know? And it's pretty incredible. And the training assistants, you know, because they're not training the dogs, but every day they're handling them. They're working with them. They're just not doing the level that the trainer's doing, obviously. But they'll be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so finally learned to calm down, you know? And it's like they think it's cool, too.
Yeah.
You
know? Back kind of when we first got her and we had to leave for a few vacations and things, and she would just go to somebody's house.
Yeah.
Like, who has experience with dogs, but not with her training, and she just was allowed to be who she is at her core there, and then I'd get her back, and it was chaos.
Yeah, you got to rein her back in.
But you could just tell, I'm like, God, this can't feel good for you.
Right.
Like, this level of just frenetic energy can't possibly feel good.
Think about a human. Does a human like being anxious?
Exactly.
Does a human like being like not being able to focus?
Yeah.
You know, I think that I have like ADHD myself. You can ask Ben, like I can be all over the place, you know. But I think the things that my routine keeps me focused, my workouts to expend that energy.
Yeah.
Which is why dogs need physical exercise every day too.
Yeah.
You know, so you need that physical and mental stimulation every day.
Yeah.
So that we don't go into a state of just constant anxiety, and it's not good to rely on medication for those things. That's a Band-Aid. Yeah. It's not going to help the root cause. Yeah. Which is what's going on up here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you struggle with anything like that, but
luckily I really don't. I think I went through a period of time where I thought that I had pretty bad anxiety, maybe some depression, but it turns out my life circumstances just needed to be changed.
And you have to assess that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with the dog. Their life circumstances need to be changed.
Yeah.
The problem with the dog is it's in the hands of the owner. when the training is done, it's in the hands of the owner to maintain that training.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing to change in dog training is human behavior.
Yes.
We can't board that owner for 4 weeks and train them, you know?
Yeah.
And they're super resilient to training too. Like the dog wants to do things that it likes. You know, they like food, they like walking, they like exercise, they like doing things. But they also have to learn self-control at the same time. So, you know, they can take to it easier than a human, obviously.
Yeah.
Humans like their habits,
Yes.
you know?
Well, I mean, I remember when we first got Stan, the first foster, and having, again, no experience with any of this.
Yeah.
And that 3-week decompression period,
Transition period. Yeah,
I could
transition.
not for the life of me figure out what's that word, transition period, where it's really just a lot of structure.
Yeah.
And the dog is always doing something, and
Yeah.
and that something is what you've told them to do and nothing else, essentially.
Right.
Like every instinct of mine wants to be like, wow, that was so hard. It's hard. It's so hard. But the reality is, it's not hard.
Right.
There's nothing hard about it. It's just like mentally, emotionally unpacking that for myself, being like, well, I'm not giving in to this dog's every whim, this poor baby fur creature.
Yeah.
Like it was really a lot to.
Yeah.
And like, what are some of the things you butt up against when that dog goes home from training with the humans?
I mean, for example, there's people, I think it's like, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say it's human nature because different people like different things. But you know, the kind of personalities that like kissing all over their dog and hugging them and this and that. And honestly, I've taken dogs home and I know the dog doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But the owner loves it.
Yes.
So it has to be a balance, you know, to satisfy the owner's needs and satisfy the dog's needs. But usually what happens with that type of owner is they don't do any transitional period. They just go back to lovey kissy, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then the dog just not completely, but a lot of times the training is degraded. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that if the owner's satisfied with their level.
Fair
You
enough.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they're lovey kissing on their dog and maybe their dog doesn't walk as good as it walks with me with them, but they're happy because it's still a loose leash, for example.
Got it.
Or maybe the dog won't hold it down stay for an hour like it would with me, but it'll hold it for 30 minutes and the person's happy with that. And, you know, that type of stuff. Like I'm good to go if the owner's good to go.
Yeah.
But if the owner's complaining, oh, well, they won't do this or they won't do that, then I have to have that conversation with them that, hey, some of these behaviors that we are having, we being the owner, we have to modify those a little bit, at least for now, to get the dog to where you want it to be. And then once it's where you're at, you can start to fade that back in if you wanted to try that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a lot of times the issue is just humans pushing too much onto their dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like constantly asking their dog, what do you want? What do you think? And the dog's like, whatever. The dog doesn't even speak their language. You know what I'm saying? It's like just live in harmony together, satisfy each other's needs. You know what I'm saying? Like I love petting my dogs. My dog, when I watch TV at nighttime, sits on the couch with me, one of them. The other one is on the floor. The other one is on the other couch. So she just, in her old age, she don't want to sit with us no more. I think she's getting hot and stuff. But anyway, so like I like that kind of stuff, and my dog better have earned that.
Yeah.
And if my dog does anything that's out of line, then I'll just tell him to get off the couch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty black and white about it, you know?
So that's in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like throughout that day, if I'm having struggles that day, which I really don't myself these days, like back when I was at a transitional period, sure, there was things going on that I had to fine tune, you know, but nowadays it's just so routine. The dogs know the routine. The whole family knows the routine. You know what I'm saying? The kids know the routine. So they know when it's going to be time to get your pets, get your couch time, hang out with the family, whatever, you know. And, you know, dogs like there's a big, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but there's like a big thing with people, and this happens all the time. I'll go to someone's house. The husband likes feeding the dog some of his leftover steak, and he's putting it in the dog bowl, which I think is okay. The wife is completely opposed to it because the dog should not get human food. I'm like, literally, like if it's whole food, it's for like we're all eating. It's good for all of us.
Sure.
And so I do the same thing. Like when I'm finished with my food, whatever remnants are left, I'll put in the dog bowl, or I'll put on the floor. They don't eat off the table, obviously.
Yeah.
But if they're eating on the floor in their dog bowl and they have earned that by sitting real quick or waiting until you say it's okay to eat it, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
And some people are opposed to that, and that's fine. But I'm like, that's fine. We feed our dogs carrots. I'll give my daughters carrots. They'll give them to the dogs. The dogs love them. They're good for the dogs. They're good for the girls. My daughters, they eat them at the same time the dogs are eating them. We're all having carrots.
Happy family.
Yeah. So, you know, that's just like, I'm getting off on a tangent, but I think you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Well, and that is something that I think I'll get to in a minute, is like, how do you strike that balance? Well, I guess I can just ask you right now.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure you hear this all the time, and I've heard it even like walking some of the fosters around. People will be like, what are you doing? What's the collar? What's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, I feel like my dog needs training, but I don't want him to come back and be a robot. I'm like, well, that's definitely not going to happen.
Right.
Dogs will always be dogs.
Right.
But like, how do you strike the balance between a good trained dog that has a healthy respect for you and your relationship and the relationship with your family, and then also being able to really enjoy your dog?
Right.
And then what are some like red flags that maybe things aren't going the way you would like them to? Yeah,
to me it's like routine and incorporating the training in your daily life. Like we talked about a few minutes ago, the transition period, which like for us it's going to be, and we tell everyone straight up, it's going to be more strict than you're going to be long term. But if you can get through this couple of weeks of strictness, the long-term benefits will be better for you.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So like me in my day in and day out life, I consider myself to be pretty balanced. And so like, you know, I get up in the morning, I let my dogs out to go to the bathroom. I put the remote collars on first thing in the morning. They basically have the remote collars on all day until the end of the day. Now, do I need to use them, all that often? Not really. But let's say, you know, they decide to chase a squirrel or something when I told them to come. Then that's a situation where I need to let them know, like, hey, remember, if I say come, your job is to come. And that's fair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it has to be fair to the dog for whatever's going on. So that's one of the reasons why I leave the remote collar even on my dogs all the time, even if I don't have to use it, which I don't necessarily, I'll use it if I need to.
Sure.
But if the dog's doing what they're supposed to be doing, they don't need the correction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I know people that have made the decision to not use the remote collar, not put it on, their dog blows them off, their dog runs into the street, they get hit by a car. Like that has legit happened because we failed to put the remote collar on because we felt bad that maybe the dog doesn't need it anymore or something. You know what I'm saying? Which is just, to me, not good to go. You know, put it on. It's just a regular collar. It's a training tool. You should be comfortable with it. Your dog should be comfortable with it. It could literally save your dog's life. You know what I'm saying? Because dogs are going to be dogs. They're going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to like, how do you balance it out? To me, it's like, you know, incorporating the training throughout your day. So when I'm eating breakfast, for example, for my personal dogs, I put my personal dogs in their kennels. I feed them breakfast. You see what I'm saying? When I'm eating breakfast, they eat breakfast. Then we get done with breakfast. We go out, we take our 10-minute walk after breakfast. Aids in digestion for you and your dog. You know what I'm saying? Vertical diet stuff. But little plug in there. But so anyway, like that's our routine. When I'm walking with my dogs, sometimes I have them walking next to me in heel position. You know, obviously I don't live in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So sometimes I let them run off and be dogs.
Yeah.
So if you have that ability, I'm totally cool with that. I think it's good. But randomly on that walk, I'll call them back to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm incorporating the training into the walk, you know. And I think we did a YouTube video where I was showing that with the dog. So if a listener wants to look at that, you can. I literally explain how I do that. So anyway, I do that. I do very, you know, short training sessions throughout like in the morning and in the evening with my dogs. And most people probably think I'm with my dogs all day. I'm not. You know, I'm working too, just like they're working. You see what I'm saying? For me, I generally get I do a morning session with my dogs, which includes my morning walk. It includes a little bit of training just to cover the basics, you know, what we call the standard obedience drill, which is practicing heeling with left and right turns, practicing a downstay, practicing a come command. Like we just need that to be such a strong habit that that's going to be there at all times.
Yeah.
We do that in the morning and in the evening, you know. Sometimes I'll play some fetch, you know, I'll cycle some different stuff in there. So, you know, if I have time, I'll take them out around lunchtime, let them go to the bathroom, and then I'm going off to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when I am home, incorporating that training in there, if I'm in the house with my kids, dogs are on spots. I have big dogs. I have 2 Dobermans.
Yeah.
A lot of times they want to be in the mix with the kids and they're just too big. Or sometimes they want to like play with the kids and the kids don't want them to play with them, so they have to go to their spot. So we just send them to their spot, you know, or if they can just meander around the house and, you know, make sure there's you know, a bubble around what the kids are doing and not disturbing the kids and making them upset, you know what I'm saying? Then they can do that. But otherwise they're just on their spots. I spend a lot of time in my yard, so it's like I'll go outside with them, with the kids, hang out with the chickens, hang out with the guineas and the caterpillars, you know. And you know, but like if we're outside, maybe maybe one of the kids is like filling up like a water gun with a hose, and one of the dogs wants to drink from the hose, but the dog, you know, is like interfering with the kid, for example. Now I'll put that dog in a downstay, so I'm incorporating a downstay in what I need to, you know. That kind of stuff. If someone comes to the door, Amazon delivers something to the door, dogs go to their spot. You see? So like I'm incorporating the training just in my day in and day out life. And if they do the right thing, they get randomly rewarded. If they disobey, they get held accountable. And it's like that the whole time.
So it almost sounds like when people say it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Like you have made this a lifestyle for you and your dogs.
Yeah. Now, that's what everybody that goes through training should at some level. I don't expect them to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself to be, I like particular behaviors. I like particular things. Like if I tell my dog to heel, they better come to heel position and be right in heel position, not 2 feet ahead of me. You see what I'm saying? If I ask them to come, they need to come to me, because that could be a dangerous situation. You know, it could be a snake out there. Could be a car going across the street. It depends. And same thing can happen in a neighborhood with somebody. You know, and I used to live in a neighborhood too, so the same things were applying.
A lot goes on there.
Like when I was in a neighborhood, my general routine was my morning walk. I'd have one of my kids in the stroller because they were smaller back then. My dogs would be heeling next to the stroller. I'd get to a green area where I could let them run around. I'd take them off leash. I let them run around. The only reason that's okay is because I have my invisible leash remote collar where I can ensure their safety. If I can't ensure their safety, it's not okay to take them off leash, because you don't know what's going to happen. And then after that, morning walk, again, training and stuff, and same thing in the evening. So basically the same thing I'm doing now. It's just a little bit different, you know, more things going on in the neighborhood than out here, but different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that for some reason that just kind of clicked with me, just to circle back around to it. Like I just feel like it's easy to say, oh, I brought my dog to training to do this one specific thing. Now we're that thing has been solved. We're going to move on with our lives. But it's like, no, this is just the lifestyle that the remote collar, the training, sort of integrating it into everyday life.
The remote collar is just your communication. It's a very simple communication system. You know what I'm saying? And it can save their life. It can help you. You know. Well,
and you know, I listened to your podcast recently about the e-collar,
remote collar.
You know, and I've kind of picked up on some of the controversy around it. And I know, you know, I certainly get looked walking a pit bull around my neighborhood with a big e-collar on. But like at the end of the day, I think like we have these creatures that are not human. They don't speak our language. They don't have our. You know, they're not like us at all. But we expect them to live according to our rules and as a part of our society. So you have to give them some tools to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And
it's literally an invisible leash, so it's the same reason why we have a leash on a dog. I can walk my dog through a, you know, leash, no off leash zone, you know, neighborhood, whatever, totally off leash, and my dog will be way better than any other dog that's on a leash. And if they ever deviate from that, I can easily communicate to them to come back to where you're supposed to be at. You know, so that's just that level of communication, that level of relationship. And there's a lot of people we work with where they don't maintain certain aspects of training, like they're not doing their spot command, which is fine if they don't care about it. You know, they're not doing their downstay, again, which I don't care if they don't care. But if they're complaining about it, well, then we need to do some things to get them back on the path. You see what I'm saying? Some people don't want to have their dog in heel position. They want their dog to be able to roam around and sniff, and that's okay as long as it's a loose leash. As soon as that dog turns into a leash puller, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Or if that dog's reacting, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it honestly depends on the individual person, the individual dog. Most people that have legit behavioral issues like reactivity or aggression, those people are going to be more strict, than the other people that, don't really deal with those things.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Bear, for example, like he's chilling.
He's chilling.
He's not, he's like one of those dogs naturally.
Yeah.
He's like my dog Sarabi, naturally, no problem, just hanging out, not going to cause any issues. That dog doesn't need anything else. You know what I'm saying? But then you have other dogs like Lena or my dog Bane, for example. My dog Georgia, she's like 100 miles an hour in her brain at all times.
Wow.
Like I took a picture of her. I don't know if I posted it to Instagram, but she was taking a nap on the floor and her eyes were wide open and she was just staring there. But she had like forced herself to lay down, but I'm like, her brain is going, So she's like a different dog too. She needs management, you know. I trained, the story about her real quick is someone hired me to train her as a protection dog for them. And I did, and they got her as a puppy. And basically they picked her up, brought her to me. This was like many, many years ago. They needed a protection dog for their property because they were having an issue with people trespassing. So anyway, trained up the dog, but they were not ready for that level of dog. And so they weren't doing what they needed to be doing. So she was eating their walls, eating their floors. They're calling me all the time. I had to replace the carpet again. Had to replace the sheetrock again. I'm like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? No. I'm like, well, you got to do this. You got to do that. And so the lady was a big horse rider. So I was able to teach Georgia to walk next to a horse so she could ride her horse with Georgia to employ her some, Anyway, turned into, we got to get rid of Georgia because the trespassing had stopped. So they didn't really need the protection aspect anymore. And Georgia's eating their walls. And so I literally took her, no issues with eating walls, no issues with eating carpet, no problems at all. And that's just because that's the difference of, handling that dog for what that dog needs versus, not doing anything with the dog. You see what I'm saying? And she's a dog that doesn't care about physical contact, really.
She's not affectionate.
She's not very affectionate, but people would want to push affection on her because she's a dog. Yeah. So you have to look at the dog that you have too. Yeah. And if you're an affectionate person, you have a dog that's not affectionate, I don't want you to give up that dog, but maybe get another dog that's like more of your kind of vibes, you know what I'm saying?
do you guys see people make that mistake a lot where they get a dog where, I kind of remember the moment with the really intense shepherd dog. Malinois. Yeah. Where they were in a movie and so everybody was like, oh, I want one of those. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I feel like every time I see just a regular person with a German Shepherd, I'm like, oh God, how's that going for you? Do you guys see that a lot where people are like, what a cute dog? And then they're like, oh no. Oh yeah. I mean, there's this one person that we've trained vividly in my brain, but the lady is so affectionate. She wants to kiss the dog, hug the dog, literally doesn't care. And it's like sometimes he's getting agitated by it. Yeah. But if you try to bring it up to her, she doesn't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, okay, you know, this dog's just going to have to tolerate this or something, Yeah. Which the dog, is okay with it from her. But, she's just like super affectionate about the dog. Dog literally would not care if she was. She'd probably have a tighter bond with the dog, honestly, if she was to tone back some. Yeah. But what are you going to do? Yeah. So to circle back around, like you've talked about you and Bane a bit on the podcast. Yeah. So I kind of have a general, and I think you've told me, because I appreciate stories, and I think other people can get, like they learn a lot from stories, and they also can relate and be like, oh gosh, if that was that bad and now it's this, that's helpful. Yeah. So you had said you took like a 3-month period with Bane and you really locked it down. Oh yeah. So that was hard for me. I bet it was very hard. Yeah. But how did it work? What happened? And how did you then make that translate to your wife and your children as well, who I don't probably think had as much of a hand in all of that? They were like, well, I think we only had one at that point, and she was tiny, baby. Yeah. But, so like before that, I had trained at the other company I used to work for in California, and that's all pressure training. It's all aversion training. It's not good training, And then I learned from Michael Ellis after that. And so then I had to like figure out from there, because Michael Ellis, the best trainer in the world, but he trains a lot of sport dogs. So I had to take the sport dog training
turn it into like pet dog training that could work for me, for like my clients, you know what I'm saying? And during that process, there was a guy, his name's John. He's a dog trainer up in Greenville. He's a veteran. He got my contact info through somebody. And I think me and him are literally the only veterans around that were dog trainers.
Okay.
So he wanted to meet up with me. So I met up with him, and he was doing rewards-based training too. And so, you know, he helped coach me through a lot of my time of figuring out taking legit just sport dog training, turning it into like pet dog training. So he was a good coach for me, good mentor. So shout out to John. But anyway, so he helped me learn how to do that. And so with Bane, basically I had to hit the reset button, legit 100% reset, which means strip everything away that me and him knew and rebuild our relationship. So basically at that time I had one kid and it slept in our room. So I had a spare room in the house. So I basically took that room. I took everything out of that room. I put his kennel in there. And one of the issues with most people and their dogs is that they don't have healthy separation. And back then I did not have healthy separation with Bane. Me and him were doing too much to get, he was going everywhere with me. All my client appointments, he was riding with me in my truck. He was doing a downstay when I was teaching, all this kind of stuff. So like literally no separation. That's not healthy, honestly. For a dog and a human, you know, because then the dog can, you know, scream and all that if you're not there or have whatever. So I put him in, so he would go in this kennel, and we would force healthy separation upon ourselves, and he'd be making noise, I'd be ignoring it, but in my heart I'm like hurting, you know, because he's making noise and all that because he wants to be with me. And so anyway, I'd take him out, we'd do what you did, hand feeding on a leash, no remote collar. We rebuilt the remote collar too. We rebuilt everything from the ground up. So I'd take him out on a leash, let him go potty, do some hand feeding, eye contact drills. Back then he wasn't really food motivated, so you know I'd have to experiment.
Man, that's hard.
Yeah, I ended up doing homemade food for a while in a crock pot. You can ask my wife, because she made me do it outside because she's like, that stinks.
I bet it did.
And it's like roast beef, sweet potatoes, like a bunch of stuff in there. So anyway, I made this homemade food. That's the only way I could get him to like eat. And I put like a cafeteria glove on and get a bunch and feed it to him. And that's how we kind of got his food drive going. But anyway, so then we did eye contact. We did all the obedience. I had a sunroom at that house. So I took everything out of the sunroom, and basically I free shaped a lot of his behaviors, which means you literally sit in the room with the food only you can access. And once he does something that's along the lines of what you want, like let's say you want to sit, for example, and he halfway sits, you reward him for the halfway sit. And you reward him for little baby steps of what you want. And he's figuring it out himself. You know, it takes a longer time to do that. It is it's the most ideal way to do it, but it takes such a long time. I bet. You can't really do it a lot of times. With like a strict training program, for example. So you have to do the luring, which is fine. Anyway, so we free shaped everything. And through that process, his chemistry of behavior, his chemicals in his brain literally changed. Because up until that point, he would still randomly like try to correct me, try to dominate me up until that point. But once we initiated that protocol, then boom, everything was different.
So did he have dominant?
He's still a dominant dog.
Is that the same thing as an alpha, or are those two things
different?
I mean,
the term alpha I think is misleading, but he's like a dominant dog. You know what I'm saying? So like naturally when he sees other dogs, he wants to take control, not take control, but if like they try to do a dominant behavior to them, he'll correct them. He'll try to, you know what I'm saying? With people too, if people do something that makes him uncomfortable, like he does not really like people petting him, like strangers, like with me and the family, he's fine. But like if someone pets him on the back, that absolutely is not good to go with him. And he has learned that instead of correct that person to get away from them, he's learned that. He just did it the other day too, because I was having some buddies over. We were doing some tactical shooting drills, and after we were done, we were cleaning up all of our stuff, and I let Bane out to go to the bathroom. He ran up to one of the guys. The guy knew nothing about Bane. He just reached down, pets his back. And I was like, oh, here we go. And I looked at Bane, and Bane like got super uncomfortable, like pissed. And then he just turned around and walked away. And I was like, well, we made a good decision. You know what I'm saying? I told the guy later, he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But, so yeah, like that process literally changed his mindset. And then we rebuilt all the training. And then once we rebuilt everything, it was no problem after that. And we just went to what we're doing now, which is the incorporation of training in your daily routine.
Yeah. So do you think in retrospect he was the perfect dog that you needed?
Oh, yeah. I needed him.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have him, he probably would have been put down, honestly.
Yeah.
Because his, it's not, you know, it is aggressive behavior, but it's rooted in dominance. So I hesitate to say aggression. But his behaviors were so bad that anybody else he would have went with, that he would have ended up with, would have most likely put him down because they had no way out of it, you know. I didn't give up on him. And one of the reasons why I left the company I used to work for is because they literally could not figure him out. And they're like, he's just always going to be like this. I'm like, dude, we are dog trainers.
Yeah.
Why can we not figure this out?
Yeah.
And we tried everything that this company knew to do, but they just didn't know about real dog training and why it really works.
So they were like, let's just scare the crap out of the dog into obedience?
Well, it's just like, you're going to hammer the dog with aversion or corrections, unfair corrections.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like Bane, like one of the things that we would do is like we would set up scenarios where somebody that's part of the company would walk up and pet Bane on the back, and I would have the leash, and then Bane would, of course, would hate it, so he'd be reacting at them, trying to get them, and then I would correct him with the leash, and then he'd turn around, try to correct me. So then it was like a physical battle between me and him at that point.
That sounds awful.
It's horrible. It's not good for him. It's not good for the owner, not good for the people. Like, it hurt me to do that kind of stuff, you know. But I mean, actually the reason why I got Bane was kind of whenever we first got Bane, he's a Doberman. We got him from a breeder in California. I was deployed at the time, so my wife was talking to the lady who was breeding him. And I was like, I want the biggest Doberman, you know? And so she had the biggest Doberman in the litter. It was not Bane. It was this other dog. And so there was another couple that wanted the biggest Doberman too, and they were in the military as well. And my wife is emailing me the updates as I'm out deployed. And I'm like, it's fine. They can take the biggest one, because the breeder had said, I think this one will be better for you guys. It was the smallest male, you know? And she's like, he's laying on his back. That means he's going to be super submissive his whole life. And we were like, oh, that's cool. And so
opposite.
Yeah. So then we got Bane, and it's like, dude, thank goodness we got him.
Yep.
Because if we hadn't of, I don't think that other people could have handled him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I would imagine too, like, he put you through the ringer.
Oh yeah.
You learned a ton from him.
Oh yeah.
And I think the relatability of that you can really understand what people are going through.
Yeah.
I mean, there were, when I first got Lena and I was just overwhelmed by her, we would walk by the retention ponds in the back of my neighborhood, and I would literally think to myself, if we just walk close enough to this pond, maybe a gator will jump out and grab her, and we can just be done here.
I always knew you were having a bad day when you'd email you, but
God,
you're like,
that was like a
fuck,
yes,
Chad.
Yeah. And again, plug for Lena. She's like this patient little pity angel over there. Like, she's really an incredible dog. I just had to put the work in.
Yeah.
I just had to put the work in.
And luckily for Lena that you were fostering her and you were willing and able to do that.
Yep.
Because again, not everybody would do that because it takes time.
100%. I actually think about her journey all the time. Like, by the grace, Eunoia pulled her from that shelter, because there's no way that a person I don't think would have adopted her.
Yeah.
If she would have been adopted, she would have been returned.
Yeah.
And then somehow she found her way to you, and then somehow she found her way to me, which was really just like the perfect domino effect. Because there are I will pat myself on the back and say there are very few fosters who would be willing to put in the time that I've put in with her.
Absolutely.
Blood, sweat, and tears for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's still up for adoption, so any listener that's
honestly,
interested.
she's so good.
Yeah.
God, she's just.
But they will have to put in the work, like we talked the other day.
Yes.
You know, like just all the work you've done, all the work that I've done with her.
Yeah.
That's great, and it does help her. But whenever she goes to her forever home, there will be some work there as well. You know.
Which is kind of something I wanted to talk about too. Like, obedience is one thing, knowing commands is one thing, but that engagement and the relationship building,
that's the most important piece.
Game changer.
Yeah.
And I just would never have had that on my radar.
Right. Like eye contact, you know, literally when you do it, the number of times that me and you have done it, like you see the difference.
Yes.
You know, and the dog makes good decisions. The dog learns to make good decisions for themselves. Like Bane getting pet on the back knows to turn around, walk away. Lena knows to disengage from something with you, for example. So like that helps the dog make good decisions, helps them to know what to do in different situations or to look to you, and just changes their entire neuro pathways in their brain.
You can see the wheels turning. She's like, I have a choice to make in this moment. Am I going to bark and lunge at a UPS truck, or am I going to look at you and get rewarded for that? And it's very, very cool when it starts to click. It's very cool. And I actually had 2 neighbors in the last week come out and be like, I just have to say, this is a different dog from when you first had her. Because the majority of the work I've done with her has been in my driveway, as you know, just because we stripped it back so much, and it was really just engagement, and I I was trying to shelter her from, everybody's watching. Including
the guy who lets his dogs run out there.
Whose dogs are trained. It's like, you know, and I think they were reactive, which is the reason you went through the trainings. It's like, you of all people should know the panic attack for a person with a reactive dog when you see a dog off a leash. It's like, oh God. But that's been really cool. People, I had a guy yesterday be like, I talk about you guys all the time. Like I talk about this transformation that I've just seen out my kitchen window with this dog. And I think what a lot has changed is my confidence with her. Like when we really dialed it down and I put all that work in just at the driveway. And then the next step, I sort of just took her out to my street and I would walk a few medians. And I had massive anxiety just doing that. I was on such high alert. I'm like, this can't be good.
Well, it helps you too overcome that.
It absolutely. And now I'm very confident working with her. Like it's changed me. And that's another thing that I really like about this, and I think is a plug for really working with your dog, is I have an entirely different relationship with Lena than I have with my personal dog Bear, who, God bless him, he does let me just smother him with affection that I'm pretty certain he doesn't care for. But like the level of like respect and just the depth of the relationship that I have with Lena and the confidence that she's given me. Right. And it just forces you into structure. It forces you into discipline. Like, and I think unwillingly I have made it a lifestyle, because there are times where I'm like, I don't want to make her sit before she gets out of the car. But somebody a long time ago had said with dogs, like, it's always or never, not sometimes and maybe. And I'm like, that is so true.
I mean, that brings up a good point, is inconsistencies is also what hurts people's progress or what they have. They're too inconsistent with their expectation. Because if we know our expectation and we just do that, it becomes a literal routine habit to the dog just to perform that subconsciously. But if we're inconsistent, sometimes we want this thing, sometimes we don't, then the dog will misbehave or be outside of those expectations. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you a cool thing about what you've done with Lena is when we were doing the positioning, like the heel position, for example, where you had to have her in front of you and then you say the word, you don't move at all, and then she whips around. I mean, that's cool when you get to that level.
It's
you know
very
what I'm saying?
Cool. It's like, I do that just for my personal, this is the coolest thing. I can stand anywhere and in any sort of dynamic to her, and she'll come and she'll
whip into that proper position to you. You know?
I'm like, right on. That's impressive. I am like, how can we get her into the, what is it, the bronze, then the silver, then the gold?
The gold?
I'm like, we're aiming for the gold.
You could do the silver for sure. You could do the silver.
And I've been working with her, and I actually wanted, before I leave here, I'm like, how do I get her come between my legs? Because I'm doing it so clumsily. I'm like, I gotta.
I'll show you how to do that.
All right, let me get back on track here. So one thing we've kind of touched on, but I see a lot, and I see it a lot in like the shelter situation, which is I do a lot with the rescues, and that's how, we got my dog Bear. But people have unrealistic expectations about the power of love for their dog. And I feel like you see that all over social media, where there'll just be this dog acting crazy inside of a shelter cage, and
Yeah.
they'll tell you a story about its background, and then the story unfolds like, well, all this vet tech did was sit in there with it and showed it love, and ta-da!
Right. Then they post a
And
story like a year later, and the dog bit him in the face.
that's the part you don't always, that I don't always see, but I
Right.
feel like it's really sets up an unrealistic expectation that like love is all you need with a dog.
Right. Right.
When the reality is like accountability and God
Yeah.
forbid consequences.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to speak the dog's language,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, like, what is love? What is love?
That's a good point.
You know, like humans have love in their language a certain way. Do dogs have love? Do they have associations? You know what I'm saying? Do they have relationships? I honestly believe that they have a deeper level of feeling and meaning with the people that they establish bonds and relationships with, you know? And, you know, let's just take a dog that's sitting in a shelter. They're in their little, you know, center block area by themselves. Someone goes in there every day, sits there with them. You know, dogs are pack animals. They are social animals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So someone coming in there just sitting there, what's that person doing? They're being neutral to the dog. Ideally, they start pushing themselves on the dog. That's when the dog could have problems. But then over time, the dog just gets used to this person coming in. It just becomes a routine thing. They make some type of association to this person. Then they start to be okay with the person. Then the person starts petting the dog. Then the dog likes the physical contact, physical interaction. And then they form a bond. You know what I'm saying? And they could be good to go after that. Or now this person decides to take this dog home. And now the dog is reactive or insecure or anxious or whatever, because now it's just in different environments, different things going on. And that type of bond that worked in the rescue in the center block area doesn't work in like a different environment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do think that it's like you said, putting bad information out there that all this dog needs is love and whatever. And like you said, like some dogs that might work, like low-key dogs that create some kind of bond or association that might work. But for the 99% of dogs, that's not speaking dog. You know, dogs are pack animals. They do like being social. Dogs like moving.
Yeah.
Movement is motivating. Motion is lotion. You know, it feels good to move.
Yeah.
For us and for them. So like walking, you know what I'm saying? Like walking is the bonding process, very important, but not a leash puller. You know, leash pulling is like they become desensitized to leash pulling, but you know, it's not healthy for a dog, not healthy for a human. How many times you can let your shoulder get ripped out of socket, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many times you can let that flat collar push up against your dog's trachea until it collapses, you know? But like walking is the bonding process. You know, those vital resources like food and water, the dog needs those, we need those. So using those to our advantage to create associations and speaking to the dog in their language, which is a nonverbal language, you know? And then knowing that dog, does that dog actually enjoy physical contact?
Yeah.
Is it impartial to it? That doesn't mean you can't pet it or anything.
Yeah.
It just means that when you pet it, you know the dog doesn't really care. It's just like tolerating it for you, you know?
Yeah. God bless. Thank you, Bear. Yeah.
You know, so it kind of depends on the dog. But I think people need to, in general, just get more aware of dog language and understanding different traits that dogs have and, you know, reading those, understanding those some more. And, you know, like I said, it satisfies most humans to like push themselves onto dogs, petting them, loving them, hugging them, whatever, which is fine. Unless it's making the dog uncomfortable, then it's like, hey, you probably should limit how much of that you're doing. You know, I'm not a very like physical contact type of person, so like me and my dogs we jive really well because we don't need that necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But there's other dogs that do like that a lot. You know? And that's fine. If that's the kind of dog you have and you like that, then go ahead. Give them all the affection you want. But a very important part about dogs is like mimicking what they know instinctually, which is that they have to earn certain things in the pack, you know? And so like physical contact shouldn't be a free thing. It's like for a dog that needs behavioral development and stuff, like that has to be earned.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't considered it that way. I always thought it was you just have to earn it without thinking it through, that's instinctual to them. So that makes sense.
I mean, in the natural dog, like the dog's ancestor is the wolf. And we know that because the dog has 78 chromosomes, the wolf has 78 chromosomes. You know what I'm saying? And over time, humans, you know, from ancient times till now, humans have slowly lived with wolves more, and then they modified wolves by interbreeding different species of wolves and like wild dogs and stuff until what we have today, the French bulldog, for example. You know,
wild. That's so
which
wild.
is crazy how that works. But anyways, but their ancestry is still the wolf. You know what I'm saying? So like things that apply in the wolf pack still apply to your dog, even if it's a French bulldog or a Chihuahua or whatever. You know, like a lot of the things that wolves do, dogs still do. You know, like if you watch a documentary on wolves, you can see things that your own dog has done. There's a really good one on Disney Plus with National Geographic called The White Wolf or something like that. It's about a pack of these scientists basically followed this wolf pack. I forgot where it was at, but some remote land where there's hardly any humans, and they just studied this wolf pack for like multiple seasons. And I watched that show. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like this and that's that, and I can see the behaviors, and I'm like, oh, dogs do that all the time. You know, it's like you can literally see with wild wolves same things you see with dogs. You know what I'm saying? So we know that that applies. But what I'm trying to get to is that naturally dogs and wolves, for example, nothing is free. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to be earned. So that goes, if we're mimicking that in our domesticated environment, in our families, our homes, and it's like physical contact isn't something you just get right off the rip. It has to be earned. There's probably should be some kind of routine and ritual to get in physical contact, you know? And sometimes like Bane, for example, ever since we went through that 3-month period, like, he really likes my physical contact now. And sometimes he'll push himself on me. I'm like, nope, not right now. You know, it's like one of those things you got to hold off sometimes. Because like, what's best for your dog? For like every time they demand something of you, you give it to them? No, that's not healthy for a dog. Not healthy for a human. You know what I'm saying?
It's just so helpful to hear, though. It's just a regular person doesn't think about it that way. And it's so helpful to hear, and it helps you to feel better about that, especially that transition period too, where things are really withheld. It's like there's a good why here, and it makes sense to the dog. I
don't want people to think like it's you don't get to do this, you don't get to do that. It has to fit with your desires, your expectations, your family, your dog. It's like there's no one way for everybody to do it. It has to be customized to you, your family, your dog. Like some dogs, again, will get more physical contact than others. Some dogs like it. Some dogs are impartial to it. Some dogs don't like it. Some dogs don't like physical contact other than from their like one person. Just as an example. You know, some dogs like playing with other dogs. Some dogs don't. You know, so it literally just depends. You know.
What are some other things that people do that can break the trust or the bond or just relationship with their dog?
I mean, a common one, the first thing that pops to my head is an insecure dog that is nervous of people, and the owners think that the dog likes people, and they try to push people onto it. Then the dog bites somebody, then they freak out because, oh my God, it was unprovoked. The other thing that really grinds my gears is dogs and babies. Dude, grinds my gears when I see a picture of a dog when they put the baby right next to it and they're like forcing them together, and I'm looking at them like, this dog is not liking this, you know, or they're letting kids like beat on dogs, you know, like my kids know a fine line, and that kids are going to be kids. So that's why you have to have your dog's best interest in mind, which means if you're having like a birthday party for your kid and there's going to be kids everywhere, you might just want to have your dog in their kennel because your dog knows that's a safe place if you've done your training properly. And it's, again, it's not being mean to your dog. It's not punishment to your dog. It's just, hey, you're going to hang out in here. You see what I'm saying? And then before and after that party, you meet your dog's instinctual needs by walking them, exercising them, training with them. Once that's done, they go in their kennel. You have your party. Once the party's over, you take them back out. You walk them, exercise them, train them. And then you're good to go. Back to normal routine. Because you don't want like 30 kids beating on a dog, and then the dog bites one. Now you got a problem.
I mean, I think that's kind of what happened with Stan. That's how he wound up.
Is it really?
I want to say,
I'm trying to think of what happened.
They put him on a trampoline with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, they had a bunch of kids. Yeah, I'm remembering now. They had and that was just like they're building anxiety. They're building bad situations.
Putting him in a situation. didn't have any business being
It's like
there.
you got to look at the dog.
Yeah.
You got to assess the dog, which means you need to learn some level of dog language, which we try to put out a lot of content about that to educate.
Yeah.
And that's why we do this podcast too.
Yeah.
But read the dog's language, assess the situation. If you're not sure, it's probably safe just to be, hey, we're not doing this right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that way you can make a good decision.
Yeah.
The other problem that people have is they get a dog from a rescue. The next day, they take it over to a friend's party and, oh, everyone pet my dog.
Yeah.
And the dog bites somebody, or the dog's terrified, runs away from them. You know, it's like, dude, come on, man. You know?
Yeah. Gosh, it's so easy to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Speaking from
Right.
experience.
Yeah.
I had a really insecure foster a couple of years ago. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, let's just rip this Band-Aid right off. Like, she'll be fine once I put her in X situation.
Yeah.
So I brought her to, like, it was a very small dog park, but she wouldn't leave my home. Like, she was so insecure, wouldn't leave the four walls.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to pick her up. I'm going to bring her to this park. Again, like, I don't, in my mind now, I don't know what I was thinking. But, like, I couldn't even get her to walk over there. I had to carry her. She's, like, pooping all over my arm.
No.
She's so terrified.
Oh,
like,
no.
in retrospect, I'm like, she turned out fine. She's actually a very well adapted
Nice.
dog
Yeah.
now. She still has some insecurities, but I made so many mistakes on her until I think I read something somewhere that was like, you got to meet them where they're at. Like, this whole pulling them, kicking and screaming to be something where be a place where you want them to be, that they're just not as.
I mean, we all made mistakes prior to, like, knowing things about dogs, you know?
Yeah.
Like, with Bane, for example, I was forcing people to pet him the whole time he was a puppy.
Because you think exposure.
I'm
if
like,
I'm just gonna make him like
I got a puppy. And
Yeah.
I'm literally like one of those people. I got a puppy. Everyone pet my puppy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he wasn't liking that. And then eventually it turned into him, like, lunging at people. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? Just keep petting him, you know?
Wow, so that was really just from him constantly being in a situation he didn't want to be in.
Right. Just, again, like I said, it compounded into an actual problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, like, my other dog, Sarabi, she's old now. She's like 15 or
Sarabi's
something.
Such a good name.
Yeah. My wife
Such a
named her
good
after
name.
Lion King, obviously.
Oh,
But,
I love it.
But, like, when she was younger, she was a crazy reactive dog, crazy leash puller. I remember we were hiking one time. She pulled my wife down the mountain that we were hiking on, reacting at this dog. And she was crying, and Sarabi was still reacting and all this stuff. And then we were those people, too, that just had our dog off leash because we're like, oh, she'll come back. And we let her off leash. She runs at this dude with this dog.
Yeah.
And the dude had a bike, and he hopped off his bike, blocked Sarabi with his bike, and Sarabi's barking. And we're like, she's fine. She's friendly. You know, we're one of those people.
Oh, I did. I've done that.
We're
with
like,
Bear.
Sarabi, come here. She won't come.
Yeah. I've got real shame about the amount of times Bear's charged at someone. And I'm like, he's
Bear.
friendly. Such a dick move. Yeah.
Hey, you live and learn.
You live
and learn. What I'm saying?
Yeah. What's been the toughest case you guys have ever handled?
The hardest cases are the extreme, what I call extreme insecurity. So I don't know if you know Malone with you.
Yeah,
he's a pretty hard one.
And we've been at class with Malone
Oh,
a few
okay,
times.
so
I think
you've
he was
seen
actually
him.
right next to Lena and I.
Yeah, you've seen him
the last time.
Trying to think. Oh, actually, Jess from the Unoya too, that Haley has.
Yep.
That was a very tough dog too.
Yeah.
But it's usually like the extreme insecurity dogs, because the issue is it's so hard for a dog with that level of insecurity to mentally be okay with, like, you. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that adopted Malone, I think they were his original fosters, I want to say. But just, again, that association of them taking him out in their yard every day, then feeding him every day, he got cool with them. You know, then he went off with somebody else that was trying to adopt him or something, got freaked out, ran away from them after pooping all over their car and biting them, and got lost for a while, got refound, then came straight to me. You know what I'm saying? And they took him to the original fosters first, and then I went and picked him up from there, and the pickup was an ordeal too, because he's insecure. He's trying to bite me and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it's hard to see that. And I know it was hard for the fosters to see that. And they're amazing people. You know, I talk to them all the time. But I think the guineas are here, Jess.
Oh, they are. are. Look at them.
there they are.
Hey,
you
guys.
wanted to see them. The guineas are here for the listener. So anyway, you know, seeing that can be hard because, of course, when he's biting, maybe he hits one of his gums, so then there's some blood. He's pooping everywhere, and I'm like, you know, let's think about what his future is. Like, we know this sucks right now, but he's got to go through this if we want to help him get better.
Yeah.
And so I did have to ask to extend his program a couple times, which we rarely have to do, but we do. And again, we're always thinking of the dog's best interest. So if we do that, we explain why we recommend the extension, what actions we are going to be taking, where we think the dog's going to be at. And then obviously there's a cost aspect of that. So we have to discuss that. And we're as fair as possible across the board. A lot of times we're taking a loss when we're doing that as a business.
Yeah.
Anyway, because we're focused on the dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Malone, very, I want to say shady, because getting him in and out of a kennel was very shady. So literally for 7 days, no training assistants touched him. It was just me. Because I knew that he needed me to take him potty every single time he had to go potty. I had to be the one to walk him. I had to be the one feeding him if I was going to get an association with him, or he would be okay with me. You know what I'm saying? And eventually we got there. It took way longer than normal. It took like 2 weeks just to get him to engage with me versus the normal couple of days.
Wow,
you know what I'm saying?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. And then even after that 2 weeks, if I increased his level of training, like let's say we went to a park, you know, he would stop engaging with me for a couple days after that because of that stressor of taking him to a new location. So it's like slowly getting him used to going to new places, doing new things. You know what I'm saying? So those types of dogs are super hard, just because getting them to open up their brain, you know what I'm saying, just takes more time. But once they open their brain to you and you can be associated with them, then they're usually good to go. You know what I'm saying? But that's happened with Malone and Jess. And again, that dog has such a level of insecurity that there's always going to be a level of insecurity to that type of dog, just because of the extent of the insecurity they have, whereas other dogs can shed it, you know what I'm saying? But other challenging cases are like the extreme, so it's like the extreme cases. You got the extreme insecurity, which we've talked about. We got the extreme anxiety. This type of dog usually is like eating themselves. Because they just mentally can't cope with life, you know? So they'll like chew their tail, or they'll chew their rear end until it's like bloody and meaty, you know what I'm saying? And so then you have to do things to manage that dog. And again, if they're practicing a behavior, they'll keep doing that behavior, you know what I'm saying? So we have to do things to not allow them to do that, which might be using a cone for that dog for a little bit to prevent them from chewing themselves. Obviously more exercise to tire that dog out, get it used to a routine. And with all these cases, the most critical, because they're not going to engage with you right out the rip, even if it's a extreme anxiety dog. So with these types of dogs, the most important thing is routine and ritual. Doing the same thing every day for a number of days until that dog gets used to that, and then associates you with the routine, and then they'll be open to engaging with you. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But those extreme anxiety dogs, you're working on their self-control. That's the first priority once you kind of get the routine down. So it's like teaching them to control themselves.
Like to make the choice in that moment.
Make the choice to, like, if you have this mental state going on, to not chew yourself or not do different things. You know, she's enjoying the sun over here. Lena. So that's like the extreme anxiety dog. I remember when Chris was an apprentice, we had an extreme anxiety German Shepherd. We went over to their house for a consultation. I think he's talked about on one of his podcasts before. But we did the consultation. The dog was eating the walls, chewing itself, slobbering everywhere, spinning in circles in the house, all that kind of stuff. We left the consultation. Chris was like, "We can't train that dog." And I was like, "Yes, we can." And I explained it to him, and I was like, "Oh, you're training this dog, apprentice?" You know? So he trained the dog, obviously, with my supervision, and that dog's a great dog. We still see it today. You know, it comes to group classes too, so I'll point it out to you if you're there with it. But anyway, so like, and then you have the extreme dominant dog, and this dog is the most dangerous one because of the intensity of this dog's desire to correct you if you're doing something it doesn't like, and it's full force, like it means what it says. It's not like a insecure dog that might try to bite you because it's scared and it's trying to get you away.
Get you out of here. Yeah.
The extreme dominant dog is trying to correct you because you're doing something it doesn't like, or it's trying to, make a statement, per se. And this dog will cause serious damage if not carefully handled.
Do you see that a lot?
We haven't had one in a while, but we do see them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so with these types of dogs, the most critical thing is, again, routine and ritual, and then association. Yeah. Getting that dog to engage with you and build a relationship with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then once you have that, then you can start to teach the dog that, hey, in these situations where you might feel like you need to correct somebody, you don't actually need to correct somebody. You can make this other decision instead. So like Bane's an example of an extreme dominant dog. And we went through that process, you know what I'm saying? But the other extreme dominant dogs have to go through the same process. But with most of these extreme cases, with our kind of training setup that we talked about at the beginning, a lot of times the trainer, his or herself, just has to take that dog. There's no training assistants handling that dog, number one, for safety concerns, but number two, that dog has to be good to go with the trainer so that it can actually learn things, and develop.
And then when those dogs go home, I imagine that engagement work is so important.
Oh yeah, we hound the people about that. We also, with the extreme cases, we will generally be setting up multiple follow-ups before we even have done the return.
Yeah.
And we'll be there like the day after, 2 days late. It'll be like very short time span between the initial follow-ups until we get them good to go at the house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that dog remembers what it used to do with the owner. It has a different relationship, context, association with them. Yeah. So the people got to be on top of their transition period. Yeah. And then they have to just maintain it from there. Yeah.
And I imagine you make that very clear right off the rip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We try not to be bullshit. We try to be as clear as possible, but still, it catches some people by surprise because they didn't listen to us or they didn't think that we meant. And it's like in writing, we say it in their update videos. You know how we do those, and then it's like the training handbook, and then at the pickup, at the return. Like we're saying it multiple ways. Yeah. So most people get it, but some people, unfortunately, there's been a couple people that have the extreme dominant dog, but all they want to do is hug and kiss the dog, and it's like, this dog is, dude, this is not, it's not gonna get the owner per se, but you can't have your boyfriend over, you can't have Amazon delivering things because your dog is just gonna control this environment, you know. Yeah. So,
speaking of context, something that we've seen with Lena that just make sense to me. When we're walking her in the neighborhood, she sees another dog, she loses her mind. Yeah. I bring her to training.
Yeah.
She's an angel.
She's like, no problems.
No problems. And I know you guys are fond of saying trained dogs, no trained dogs, but
well, it's like,
what is that?
It's like that. It's like the context, like certain situations. Dogs pick up on certain situations and then they'll behave and act a certain way in that situation. Yeah. So let's say we go to group class, for example. It could be somewhere she's never been. Yeah. But the fact that, the trainers are there. Yeah. They're talking like they always talk. Yeah. And everyone is doing the same thing. And all the other dogs are in perfect position. She's like, oh, we're in training mode now. Yeah. So she's picking up on the context very rapidly, and she's good to go, no problems. Yeah. Then you go to a neighborhood, for example, where there's no trainers, no training dogs. There's crazy dogs. All of a sudden, she's like, oh, I'm going to bark at this. I'm going to bark at that. Yeah. Because it's a different situation, and she's picking up on the fact that I'm going to try and behave differently. I know it's really hard to explain, but that's the best I can do.
It's sort of let me see what I can get away with here.
Kind of, it's they're going to their, I don't want to say default mode, but they're going to default behavior. Yeah. Which is oh, I want to bark at that thing, or I want to stare at that cat and chase that cat. Yeah. Whereas she wouldn't have done that in group class if a cat ran through the middle.
Well, I mean, these guineas are right here.
The guineas right here. They're eating some bugs, and
she's interested.
She's looking, but she's relaxed. Yeah. It's been a while since she's seen guineas.
Yeah.
But when she was here, she saw guineas. She saw cats. You know, the Polaris was driving right by her. No issues.
Yeah.
Then she goes, and I was surprised too the first time you were saying.
Golf carts, cats, skateboards, trucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the things.
Yes, the context, you know.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting in general, you know. But
it really is.
Yeah. But then over time, you slowly work on, like what you've worked on, and you should see improvements in the context, but
absolutely
there can be some variability there.
Well, sometimes you can tell. She's like, this feels like it might be fun right now. I'm just going to see.
Well, it feels good to bark.
Yes.
It feels good to chase things. That's prey drive. It feels good to, run at things or whatever. So those things feel good. So sometimes they're like, hey, I'm just going to do this because it feels good to me. And even if so-and-so is correcting me for that, I'll just take the correction in this case because I want to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you get the dog to the level where they're really respecting you to the level they're not going to do that? And it's everything you've done, plus what we talked about on Saturday, which is now the threshold, what I call the threshold, which is distance to distraction. So if we work through a bunch of stuff, and for the most part we're good, but now there's certain situations where we still have some type of reaction, like, you know, a dog within 10 feet. I don't know what that distance is in your street there, but let's just say it's 10 feet. A dog within 10 feet triggers a reaction no matter what correction we're using. But a dog at 15 feet, there's no reaction. That's a distance to distraction problem, the troubleshooting step now. So then what we do is we try to set up situations like we talked about. Well, first of all, we're trying to ensure the safety of the dog and the safety of the innocent bystander. That's just walking by. And so we try to get to a situation where, okay, we know there are some dogs that we can control our distance to them. So we think about a dog park. We don't go in the dog park, but we know if there's a dog park, there's a fenced area where there's going to be dogs running around barking. We know there's a parking lot where dogs are going to be walking to and from the dog park in general. This is just a really good scenario for like most people with a dog that's working on this. So you start at a good comfortable distance away from the dog park. Let's just say it's 50 feet. You do your engagement. Your dog's listening to you. Your dog has no hyper focus on the other dogs, no reactivity. It's like, all right, we're good to go. So then we go to 30 feet. We're doing the same thing, engagement, obedience. There's no hyper focus, there's no reactivity. We go to 20 feet, no reactivity, no hyper focus. We go to 10 feet, all of a sudden we're losing our minds. It's like, all right, back it up. So then we back out to 20 feet. We work at 20 feet. We have a good time with our dog. We end the session. What's really difficult is, for the human side, getting to 10 feet, your dog loses it and you're frustrated, and you're upset. And you're like, fuck this, you know?
Yes.
But it's like, what's in the best interest of the dog? Ending it with the best behavior possible.
Okay, good.
So you back out to 20 feet,
Yeah.
have a good time, you calm yourself down. Maybe it's just doing a downstay for a minute so you can collect your thoughts.
Yep.
Then you do your engagement, then you roll out.
Yeah.
You know, next time you come, you start at 50 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet, 10 feet, we're reacting 15 feet instead of 20. You go up to 15.
Yeah.
We can maintain our mindset here, our behavior here. We roll out, we're good to go for the day. Next time we come back, we start at 50, 30, 20, 15, 12. We don't breach the 10-foot mark yet. 12 feet, we're good to go. We roll out, we leave. Okay. Come back, 50, 30, 20, 15, 12, 10. We're good to go. We leave, right? So we're keeping the sessions efficient and short without bad behaviors if possible. And we're just slowly working ourselves down to a good distance. Now, let's say we're good to go at the dog park scenario. Guess what? We just created context at the dog park. That doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work at the place we want it to work at. So then we take that training back to the place we want it to work at, which is like our neighborhood, for example, and we try to time it to when we know dogs might be moving in this sidewalk, for example. We try to slowly work our threshold there. But because we've done the work at the dog park, it should help translate over to the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? That's something that we as dog trainers are constantly troubleshooting, is threshold, distance to distraction. When we find a threshold problem, now it's like, okay, we got to hammer this out. And we're generalizing that. So we'll go to one dog park, we'll do it there. We'll go to another dog park, we'll do it there. We'll go to another place, we'll do it there. And so generalization is just making sure your training's good in a variety of situations, not just at one place. And then we at that point we know that the dog will be good to go in like a neighborhood situation, for example. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a listener, you can we hear them? We can hear the guineas. They're rolling in. They're over here. These are my young guineas. They're jumbo guineas actually, so they'll be about 5 times, or not 5 times, but 5 pounds bigger than a normal guinea.
So what is a guinea? Why would a person have these?
Dude.
Just for fun?
Dude. Well, the guinea,
producers, are they?
they do produce eggs.
But do you eat them?
Yeah, I eat them. I also hatch them.
Okay.
That's why I have like 50 guineas.
So this is basically a chicken, fun chicken.
It's like it is a poultry. Yeah, it's like a chicken. So if we look at Lena, right, they're going right by her. I do have a remote collar with me, but she's looking over here. And if we notice her ears are kind of pulling back a little bit. You want to put the camera on them just for the, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can kind of observe some dog behavior here. The guineas are literally, they're watching her.
Pretty awesome.
They're watching her, right? So they came over because they're not used to a dog being with us when we record a podcast. So, because they know context too. And it's crazy how a lot of animals, they behave the same. So they come over, they investigate her. She's chilling. She's stretching. then they're done with her. So then they just roll out. You know what I'm saying? So the viewer, the listener, if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch the video feed. But the reason why I got guineas originally was for pest control. So they're natural tick, flea, spider, like pests. And so I try to not use pesticides. I try not to do anything that's going to impact the environment. So I'm trying to figure out ways to help the environment help itself, holistic,
I love that.
So pesticides are bad for the bees too, which I showed you earlier. So yeah, but the guineas are excellent at tick prevention, flea. Oh yeah, because before we got the guineas, Chris is like a tick magnet, and he'd have ticks all over him all the time. When we had the guineas, I don't think he's had any. They're also really good about like alarming. So like if there's something new on the property, they'll make some noise, and then it's like, oh, what's going on? And the other thing is snakes too. Like before we got the guineas, we used to have copperheads everywhere. Wow. And ever since the guineas have here, I've seen them chasing them off before, but they'll like literally keep them out of their range at least.
What is their range?
This is the whole property.
But do they kind of like stay in this little circle around your house, or?
So far they've stayed within about 1,000 feet on each side of the house. So 1,000 feet to the back, 1,000 feet to the left and right side and the front. And so, but yeah, they'll range out, and kind of do their thing. They always come back at nighttime. They go into their coop at nighttime. In the morning, we open it at basically right after sunrise. Me and the girls will go out there, we'll open the coop, and they get to come out. The chickens will stay right up by the house, but the guineas will range out way out here and do their thing.
Are their eggs pretty similar?
Oh, yeah, they're just like a chicken egg. I'll give you some. I'll have to check and make sure we have some, but I'll give you some. So the guineas are not like chickens where they won't lay. Like a chicken, we have a nesting box, and the chicken will go in there. They'll literally lay in there every day. The guineas will lay wherever, so they'll lay them in the woods. Yeah, they'll lay them wherever. So,
that's so cool.
But yeah, we'll give you some free-range eggs.
I would love that.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Cook up some for Mark. He likes eggs?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We do a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
Too many eggs in my
Oh, really? How many eggs you guys doing a day?
Yesterday I had them for both lunch and dinner. It's just easy.
They're good.
Protein.
They're good. High in nutrients. Yeah. And most people don't know, but they're like, eggs are bad because they have cholesterol, but your body can't even process dietary cholesterol. So the cholesterol in the egg is just literally getting pooped and peed out by you.
Yeah. We were together for Thanksgiving recently, and I was making eggs, and my in-laws were shocked.
They freaked out.
Like,
that's where all the nutrients are.
Still think that we're anti-yolk and we're just doing whites.
Yeah.
What's the point of this?
Yeah, exactly. That's where all the nutrients, vitamin K2, vitamin A, right? Everything's in there. Yeah.
That about sums up my line of questioning.
That's all your questions? That's all your questions? What else do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to, like, if you had what else I know you kind of have a soapbox. You have a podcast.
It's a small timer.
That you're like, man, I wish I could scream it from the rooftops.
I just want people to be, dog concerning. I would like people to be more educated, like we've talked about this whole time. Not pushing yourself on a dog. Like, one of the things that I don't think is good is like if you walk into someone's house and let's say you've never met their dog and you just all of a sudden start petting it and whatever. And I don't remember how I was with you the first time I met you. Maybe I pet Bear, maybe not. But in general,
I think he leaned on you.
Did he lean? Oh yeah, yeah. If a dog does that, I will pet them because they're initiating the contact. What I don't like is like walking in and me initiating it, because then I feel like I'm begging the dog, I'm demanding of the dog, and I walk into an environment, I first just observing the dog. I'm trying to let him know, hey, I'm not here to invade your space. You know, I'm just here to hang out, and we can have a relationship, or if you just want to maintain distance, that's fine. And a lot of times I walk into someone's house and they have an insecure dog that maybe used to bark at people or whatever, and they're like, wow, they didn't bark at you. And I'm like, wow, fancy that. It's because I wasn't like saying, hey, pretty boy, or whatever, you know. It's just because I walk in and I act like there's no big deal, you know. Or, you know, dogs that have a biting history, we walk in, they don't care because we're not forcing ourselves upon them, you know, and it blows people's minds. And it's like, if we all just took time to do that, and generally you can pick up really quickly if a dog wants contact or not. If it wants contact, give it contact, you know. If it doesn't, then just, you know, hold your ground, and not hold your ground, but like just hold back, you know. Right. And if we do that, I think there'll be less problems with dogs, you know, and also trying to not force interactions. Like I know someone, they were walking their dog and they thought their dog was good to go, and someone in the neighborhood with a kid walked up and, hey, can my kid pet your dog? Sure. They pet the dog bit the kid. It's like, dude, just say no. It's like,
we say no a lot with Bear.
It's just better, you know.
You feel a little icky in the moment. I'm like, sorry.
That's just the human side of it.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't. He's old.
Yeah.
A bit of a curmudgeon. In situations. And I just safety first.
Right.
I don't want that on my conscience.
Well, it's also like you go out to a public area and some people think they just should be able to walk up and pet your dog, which is kind of mind-boggling. But I'll take Bane to, like we took him to Second Sunday a couple months ago. Our whole team went. We just took all of our personal dogs, all training assistants that wanted to go, all trainers. We took our personal dogs. I had my kids with me. I let my turning 6-year-old daughter, she likes walking with me with the dog, so I let her walk Georgia, and I walked Bane, and so anyway, we put him in a downstay at a certain point, and people are walking up, literally about to pet Bane. He has a vest on that says "Do not pet." I put that on. I put it on him when I walk him because he doesn't like people petting him. And it's like one thing that deters most people, but there's still those people that have to like feel like they touch him. I'm like, hey, no petting, please. And I've literally had to grab people's arms and like say, hey, no petting. You know, like literally, why do you think you can pet them? You know,
being a good advocate for your dog's needs,
right?
When I felt like for a minute I needed a muzzle for Lena,
right,
so that I could, you know, try and appropriately correct her without her redirecting on me, and just
right,
getting over what that looks like,
right,
to other people walking around my very family-oriented neighborhood.
Right.
We got the only pit bull on the street.
Right.
Now she's wearing a muzzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Training collar, the whole thing.
Whole 9 yards.
Look, I just gotta get over it.
Yeah.
Because I'm here for her.
Yeah. And I use, you know, we'll use muzzles at certain points, and I'm not, some people are opposed to them. I'm not opposed to them. They're a training tool. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And like even with Bane, when I take him to the vet, which I'm going this week to the vet, I put a muzzle on him. Not that he necessarily needs one, but it makes the vet more comfortable. But for the most part, like I have, like my vet and me understand each other. It's like I'll handle his head. You just do your thing on him, and I won't let him do anything, you know. But one time, dude, I have a dog chiropractor too. And he comes to you. So if you ever want him, I'll give you his number. But Bane was having like a limp. And honestly, I overworked him when he was younger. I did a lot of protection work with him, like high intensity work, basically every day, chasing things every day. And I literally overworked him, and I learned a lesson the hard way. Like, don't overwork. Just like us, we can't overwork ourselves. I didn't think it applied to dogs, but it does, obviously. So anyway, he had developed this limp with his shoulder. And so I found this dog chiropractor. He comes to your place, and I was like, dude, Bane hates people touching him, but I think that this would be good for him. And I'm like, I'll just handle him. So I had to talk to the chiropractor. I'm like, hey, dude, he doesn't like people touching him, but I was like, I'm going to put a muzzle on him. I was like, I'll handle his head. I got a muzzle on him, and I was like, if you're cool with that, I won't let him do anything. And he's like, okay, that's fine. And I figured dog chiropractor, he also does horses. He's used to like problems, you know what I'm saying? Which he is. And I want to get him on the podcast one day because he's got some crazy stories. But so anyway, he's adjusting Bane, and Bane's growling. He's hating it. I'm like, nope. And I'm letting him know to stop growling, and he does, but he's still hating it. And so at a certain point, the dude is adjusting his shoulder, and he adjusted it, crack, and Bane like ripped away from me, turned around. He's in a muzzle. Turned around. He knew he couldn't bite the guy, so he just jumped up and headbutted him, knocked this dude over. Dude's like, oh, falls over. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I told Bane to come. Bane comes right over to me. I'm like, dude, he headbutted you, bro. And the dude's like, wow, he couldn't believe it, you know?
Kind of entertained by it?
Oh, yeah. I was like, are you okay? Because it literally knocked him over, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, yeah, I deal with horses, and he told me he's been kicked by horses and all that, So anyway, I was like, dang, dude, but Bane literally knew he was like, he doesn't like being touched, but I knew it was going to be good for him, but he knew he had the muzzle on, so he just goes for the next thing, which is the headbutt. I was like, this dude is something. I'm talking about Bane. I'm like, this dude is something else. This dog is something else, you know? But to me, it's like, you know, it's serious, but it's like laughable to me. It's like, dude, come on now. Yeah. I'm like, dude, really? Did you have to headbutt the guy? You know what I'm saying? But then the doctor was like, you know, he'll get better with me over time. And so the next time he came, Bane just growled, didn't headbutt him. Then the next time he came, there was no growling, but Bane was giving him the eye. Mm-hmm. And I'm just holding his head. I'm like, no, don't do it, you know? Like, dude, don't do that, you know? So anyway, always an interesting situation.
Yeah. Have you ever had any cases you couldn't crack?
No,
it seems like the motto is we don't.
I'm still looking for them. Yeah. I'm not saying there's not a dog out there that can't be cracked, but I think, you know, it'll take extensive time.
So sorry, this might be a super loaded question, and you don't even need to answer it, but you've never recommended you got to put this dog down?
I don't recommend that. I've had owners that make that choice themselves, and they'll call me and they're trying to reason why they think they need to do it, and I'm like, this is why you don't need to do it. This is what you need to do, but I respect your decision, whatever it is. And then they'll tell me, oh, I did. I'm like, okay, you know. And it's like, I try not to judge them. And I've even had someone say, like, thank you for not judging me. And I'm like, I don't think that it was the right, I don't tell them, but I'm like, I don't think it's the right call. But it's like, it's your life, you know, unfortunately. Unfortunate situation. But most of the people that try to go that route, they literally they can't fight their human self to change their habits to benefit the dog. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think it's equal part training the human and the dog, or is it not even equal?
It's mainly the human. It's mainly which is hard because, you know, for what we do, we board the dog with us, we train them, we immerse the dog, and then we don't get to do that with the human. We try to give them as much information as possible, and obviously we drive to their house as many times as needed, you know, to get them good to go. And sometimes they just can't fight their human self, or they don't want to, and it's their life, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to think about like what's going to be best for both human and dog team, and that's why I say, like we talked about earlier, I don't really care if they change their protocol. Like, they might not do exactly what I said, but if they do something that they feel is good and they're satisfied with where they're at, then they're good to go. But if they're doing something and then the dog is performing bad behaviors, then obviously we're not good to go, and it means that the human side has more work to get the dog side good to go. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's complicated, you know?
It sounds very complicated.
It's complicated. So similar to what you do with your nutrition stuff, you know, like the compliance. That's what it is compliance, you know, and like compliance to the protocol, whether that's a nutritional protocol, an exercise protocol, a dog training protocol. It's all compliance, and if we're not in compliance, that's when we have problems and we don't meet our goals, you know.
Or a human's ability to self-manipulate and convince yourself
right
out of your own best interest is pretty wild.
Right.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
We can have an excuse about why we do or don't.
Oh yeah.
Just about anything.
We'll talk ourselves into anything or out of anything, you know.
Yeah, when it's so obvious you're acting out of, like, in the opposite of your own self-interest.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So good to go, man.
Yeah.
That's all you want to talk about, huh?
I think so.
What else you got? What else you got? Are we already?
Yeah.
All right. Ben, do you got anything for Jesse? Nothing for Jesse?
Hold on. Let me give my little listy here.
So you've been working through Eunoia for a while.
Yes. I've had four fosters with them. Before them, I did a bunch of fostering through Pet Helpers.
Yeah.
The hardest dog that I actually ever had, and it was super I was new into fostering, was this tiny little thing that somebody found in a ditch.
Oh, really?
They had to amputate its back.
Oh,
leg,
gosh.
They had hospice.
Mm.
Well, it wasn't on its deathbed. I guess
Right.
it was recovering.
Right.
But this thing was so mean. And so I couldn't get a leash on it. This tiny.
Oh, dang.
And
Dang.
thank God the vet tech had this huge bleeding heart, and she ended up calling me. She's like, I think I'm actually going to adopt that dog. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Because I can't get this creature to do anything without fear of it taking my hands off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a big thing. We don't deal with it that often, but we have dealt with it multiple times. Is super leash reactive dogs to where you can't get a leash on them, or if they feel the leash, they're freaking out.
Yeah.
And that's super hard to change, you know. But, what do you think about the, try not to get onto a too controversial of a topic, but what do you think about the rescue world? You know, it's like a problem that's not going away.
It's, God, it's hard. It's a lot of people trying to do their best with a really tough situation, trying to act in the best interest of the dog, but it doesn't always happen. I mean, Lena, for example, I don't know what landed her in the shelter, but she had many foster homes before she finally got to you, and then she went back to the foster and then came back to you because they were still
Is that what it was? Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Something like that, yeah.
And then she came to me, and it's like, man, by the time she gets to wherever her forever home will be, that person just needs to put in all of the work to undo all of that instability.
Right. Right.
You know, and for me being in the foster community, of course, and just the shelter community, I'm like, God, please adopt a dog.
Yeah.
However, I think I read recently there's for every one dog coming out of a shelter per day, it's 4 to 6 going in. So that's not the answer.
Yeah.
You know, that's a bit of it.
Well, where are the dogs coming from to go into the shelter?
I think a lot of it is backyard breeding is a big problem.
Yeah.
And that's just what I understand, kind of browsing the pages of different shelters and things.
Yeah.
It's just these people who are making a quick buck.
They're trying to.
Make
How much money are you actually making? Because, well, I guess the backyard breeders are making more, but if you have dogs, if you have puppies, you got to feed them. Yeah. You're supposed to vaccinate them. You know, you're supposed to get the dewormer and all that. Obviously the backyard breeder's probably not doing all those things, but actually, how much money are you actually making?
That's a good question.
How much of your time is going into, if you're a legit breeder, you're not making that much money. You're not making that much. There's no way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think about when people are
What do you think it is?
The rescue problem?
Yeah. Why are there so many dogs?
So here's my solution.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna. I don't know if any one solution would work, but what I see is there's all these shelters and rescues burning themselves mentally, physically, with all these dogs, and it's dude, this is out of control. How do we resolve this? One of my thoughts is animal sanctuary, Hallie Hill. I don't know if I think we talked about them.
Slightly familiar. I know that they exist. I kind of have a vague idea of what
they do. Well, basically they have a property, a larger property. They have fenced in areas, and there's there could be multiple dogs in each fenced in area, and they live in this area. They have a shelter, they have food, they have water. But they're basically doing their thing. And then people can go out there, they can adopt a dog if they want to, or there's dogs that just live their life out there. They take in elderly dogs that nobody wants, and they live, the elderly dogs, I think, have a indoor barn area, but there's only limited space there. Yeah. So anyway, something like that, but that still requires a lot of human intervention. So it's is there a way to get a large property, create
This is a large property.
Is there a way to get a large property? I'm like, a couple 100 acres, because it's like if you go closer mid-state, then you can get more property cheaper, which I've pushed this idea on a couple higher echelon people that I know, but it's like, get a large property, cut the trees down. You can use those funds to help build what needs to be built, which is basically maybe like an acre, half acre fenced area that's safe for the dog, shelter for the dog there, automated water, automated feeding. And then once a week you have human attendants that come out there and make sure the food's good to go, the water's good to go, so you're not burning people with the day-to-day operation, and you mimic the dogs to like the most sustainable, suitable lifestyle possible, where they get outdoor area and they're taken care of. That's kind of like my thought, but I don't know if it'd work in all situations. Plus then you have problems with people trying to get in there stealing dogs to do dog fights with them and stuff,
But that's the situation you're in. There are no perfect solutions.
Right.
So you have to work with all of these imperfections.
Right.
And just do the best you can with with the cards
that
you're dealt. Not to like sit here and blow smoke at you guys, but like when I think about, okay, you've got 4 to 6 dogs going into a shelter every day. That's some of the numbers coming from the rural South Carolina shelters. I don't know why those dogs are there, but I imagine at least some of them is because the human can't figure out how to handle the dog.
Right.
So doing what you guys do and just screaming.
Right.
This is how you have a good relationship with a dog, putting out the content so that hopefully somebody sees it.
Right.
And they, either through you or on their own accord, figure those things out.
Right.
Because I get it. Like, again, going through what I've gone through with her, when it's like, man, I hate to be the person to say this, but this dog is bad for my mental health. I'm like wishing her a quick, swift death walking by this home. I hope Noya's not listening to this. But, it's like, man, this is so stressful.
Yeah.
But then when you have the tools and you're like, okay, I can fix this.
Right.
I can make it so that this is a really lovely, I adore her now. We have a great relationship.
Yeah.
But I understand now why people surrender their dogs. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Right.
So plugging that hole there is very important.
Well, like I said, if I didn't have Bane, he probably would have gotten put down, because most people are not going to know or care to do what needs to be done, But then you think about the dogs at like a shelter or a rescue, or people in general. Let's say they find a dog like that's wandering out in the woods, and they decide to capture this dog and bring it into a shelter. Would that dog have been better off just living its life in the woods? Because we have a dog like down the road here. He has a collar on, so I'm assuming he lives at somebody's house. But he's always wandering the road. He's eating like trash people have thrown. He's loving it. And then like, and then you we've tried to get out and go up to him before, and he's like barks and runs off into the woods. He's like, oh, he's having a good time, So it's like, why not let him just like do his thing, There's
an account I follow. I really like her work. Her name's Sophie something, but she started off, I think, as a photographer, and she did this whole series for years called Pitbull Flower Power, where she'd take these shelter pitties, she'd make these beautiful flower crowns, and then she'd photograph them that way, and it just sort of helps to shift the mentality around how people perceive pit bulls.
Right.
But she does a lot of other work now, and she was recently, I think it was in Moldova, and she filmed this, like what they do, because they have a huge stray dog problem, which isn't necessarily the issue here, maybe in some parts of the country, maybe more rurally. And people who worked in rescue, which is very few and far between, but they would shoot the dogs with darts from the car to like put
tranquilize them.
And they'd basically fix them, sterilize them, and
let them go again.
And like
that's actually a good solution.
It's like none of it's perfect.
Right.
You're just doing the best you can with what you have.
Right. That's actually a good solution, because then you're preventing them from mating, and then more dogs being out there,
Probably cats, but
there's no perfect solution, but it's a thing I constantly think about, because like we work with a number of rescues, and I'm seeing some of these people like literally smoking themselves.
Oh, man.
I'm like, dude, and
it's being in the room.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Lena's being a clown.
She's on her back.
But being on some of the shelter Instagram accounts where they just talk about the mental, emotional hardship it takes to be the person to put the dogs down.
Oh yeah, that would be tough, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
And then to have like the community kind of coming at them, being like, "We can't believe you're a kill shelter."
Right.
Like, well,
right.
What options do we have here?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard,
Yeah.
So hopefully one day it'll get better. I don't know. It's just like a nonstop cycle.
Yeah.
Seems like it's gotten worse in recent times with people just giving up their dogs, because we're in the world now where it's like everything, you want it fast. You want it fast. Oh, this dog doesn't work out, get rid of it, get the next one. Oh, that one doesn't work out, get rid of it, get the next one. You know?
We're seeing, we've seen purebreds now starting to come through the rescue. Purebred labs, purebred, like the doodle situation.
Oh, yeah.
Charleston is at a peak. So a lot of doodles coming through.
Yeah.
So people, I assume dogs people are paying money for.
Oh yeah. And even if you're paying money for a dog, even if it's not a backyard breeder, could still be improperly, not properly bred. Yeah. And that's what's going to result in most behavioral issues is genetic issues like insecurity that compound over time. Yeah. And if you have someone that's breeding a dog that has higher levels of insecurity, most likely that's going to pass on to its puppies. Then that's going to pass on to more puppies. So now we're creating problems. Whereas if we went with a legit breeder, like Premier Doodles, if anyone wants to burn a doodle, hit up Premier Doodles. Dr. Carmichael, super good guy, super in tune with everything going on with his dogs. And, his dogs are expensive. And there's like a 3-year wait list for him. And but if you get his dogs, they're not going to have, behavioral issues, because we've trained a number of them. So it's like looking for people like that instead of just like the cheapest breeder you can find. Maybe it's not a backyard breeder, but maybe it's just someone that's not as experienced, or not as in tune with it. And
I think too, just really understanding the needs of your dog.
Yeah.
Goodness, the issue in California right now with the shelter system is they are overrun with Huskies.
Oh, really?
I imagine, from what I understand of a Husky, it's got to be a pretty intense dog with some pretty intense needs.
Depends. But they are, they are a, like, people need to know what kind of, what category their breed falls into. And a Husky is technically like in the working dog category, because if you think about what a Husky was bred for, it's bred to pull a sled through Alaska. You got this dog in California sitting on you want it to sit on your couch. Yeah. This dog was bred to pull a sled. So it's like, that's why you have to mimic what that dog was bred for. Yeah. And that's why you need to know what that dog was bred for, at its roots before you look into that breed, And like what I did with the trainers probably last year, we went through every dog breed. And we studied it. It's called the complete book of, what is it? Not the complete book, but it's basically the AKC dog breed book. It's like 1,000 pages long. Yeah. It took us like 6 months, but went through, we studied every breed. Wow. We studied what the dog was bred for, some of the common characteristics, like what you'd be, and the reason for that is like if you walk into someone's house and they have a Husky, for example, and they're having this problem, can you identify why the dog's having the problem, and can you explain to the people why the dog might be having the problem? And like, again, what was this dog genetically bred for at its roots? And the Husky is bred to pull sleds through Alaska. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this dog was bred for a cold climate, and it's bred to do work. So like if you're not simulating or mimicking at least the do work part, you're gonna have some type of problem from understimulation.
And did you find that to be pretty accurate?
For the most part, there's obviously variations. There's Huskies that are lazy, but there's Huskies that are super intense. Yeah. So there's variations with anything. But for the most part, it's like, okay, we understand what this dog was bred for. And that explains a lot of things. And, Husky, for example, just because we're talking about him, is probably going to need more daily work than a like lazy dog. I'm trying to think of one, but, just a... Depends on the Dane. Depend. Yeah. Great Danes were bred for work too. Yeah. They were bred for, if I remember correctly, bear hunting and boar hunting. So they're made to chase down and grab and hold big game. I think they were also used for protection and war at certain times. I don't remember off the top of my head. but like, working things. They were meant to like run, chase, grab, bite things, so they need work too. But there's a number of Danes I know of that are super lazy and don't give a crap about anything. There's a number of Danes I know of that are ready to get after it every day. There's a number of Danes that we've trained where the people thought it was going to be a couch potato and it turned out to bite the UPS guy.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that about them, that they're great apartment dogs.
Again, there's so many variations with the dogs, you honestly, but I go by like, what was that dog originally bred for? That's kind of like the baseline.
So what about pit bulls? They get a pretty bad.
Yeah, pit bulls are like honestly a hybrid breed. I don't remember off the top of my head all the specifics. Usually what I do is I'll refer back to the book. If I have a consultation coming up, I'll refer back to that specific breed. So you're throwing me on the spot here, Jesse. But like pit bulls are like a hybrid breed, and they were originally bred for their grip, if I'm not mistaken, like their like biting grip. I think they were bred to grab onto some kind of game or something and hold on to it, So if we think about that, it's mostly like a working style dog, so an active dog. You know what I'm saying? They have the ability to grab. They want to chase things. They want to grab things. They're really good about holding things, which if you've ever been bitten by a pit bull, you know that, because they will usually grab and hold on to things pretty good. And super powerful grips too. You can watch videos of people playing tug and they lift the tug up and the dog's hanging on to it, so that kind of stuff. But pit bulls are also very susceptible to ACL injury.
She's got that, right?
She did have the surgery on. Holy cow! Yeah. Holy cow! Look at her. So like talking about ACL injuries real quick. Like if you're playing fetch with your dog and you throw the ball and it's going all over the place and your dog has to make quick turns to the left and right, for example, that dog is at more risk of injuring its ACL from that quick turn, versus if you have it just run in a straight line and back. So anyway. But yeah, trying to like know what the dog was like a Doberman, for example, originally bred for protection. Like there was literally a banker that bred the Doberman from a variety of breeds because he needed to transport money. He kept getting mugged. So he bred the Doberman, and that was how he prevented from getting mugged, because he would have them with him.
Do you guys get a lot of requests like that are sort of outside of the obedience box, where they're like
protection, for example?
I don't know.
Yeah, like we call it specialty training, so like protection, scent work, hunting, service dog, all that. We do protection dogs, but most people that think they need a protection dog actually don't. We did a podcast recently about protection planning, which we talked a little bit about that. But most people that think they need a protection dog actually don't. And it's not that we're trying to like tell them not to do it. It's just like there's more liability with that. There's more work to be done with that. It's more expensive. So most people that want that, what they really want is a dog to bark and stop barking on command. So we can do that, no problem. But as soon as you initiate the bite work portion, now your liability immediately goes up. So it's like, is that really worth it? Are you going to employ your dog properly? So we play it very careful with that, But like service dogs, we will do some service dogs, but a lot of times we refer that out to other specialized service dog trainers, like we have one in North Carolina that we refer people to. Hunting dogs, don't really mess with that realm just because of the time involved with that. So I have a buddy in the upstate that I went to the Citadel with. He does hunting dogs. He's a beagle breeder for hunting. And so he does that. So usually for like more specialized things, if we don't do it or if we don't have time to do it, we'll refer it out to somebody that we know. But people do say that, but most people just need advanced training where they get that foundational work, they get the off leash done, they get the socialization done, and they learn how to, go into their daily life with their dog. You know what I'm saying? So good to go with that. Yeah. But anyway, good to go, Jesse.
Good to go.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out.
Right back at ya.
Before we wrap up here, a couple plugs. Okay. First of all, the podcast, if you didn't know, sponsored by Canine Revolution Dog Training. So if you in the world, right? So if you need dog training, let us know. Yep. And like people do reach out to us for dog training, obviously. We'll send them a lot of our YouTube videos. We've had people before sign up for training. They're watching our YouTube. They figure it out themselves. They don't need us. They cancel their training. That makes us happy. So hopefully more people can get impacted by that. We are also sponsored by Canine Revolution Apparel. And if you look at Ben, he's got our nice Pitty shirt on. And those Pitties are actually Ben's dogs.
Oh,
JoJo and Aura, which he got through. JoJo was through. Well, I had adopted JoJo. Then he wanted her. I got her from a rescue. I trained her. She was, a special case. And so anyway, then he adopted her.
Special?
Oh yeah.
Still special.
She's a sweetheart.
She's JoJo. She's JoJo.
She's a special, just,
Yeah.
She just needs someone to work her.
She's not. Yeah. She's not the kind of dog that like is all about affection. Like she likes Ben touching her. She likes me touching her. But
If I go away on a trip and I come back, she'll literally run right past me. She doesn't even she just wants to go stuff.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like when I would take her out, because I did do like adoption visits with her, and Ben went to a couple with me when he was working for me, and nobody wanted her because she wouldn't want to be touched. She'd be wanting to sniff their yard, and they're like, "Why won't she let me pet her?" I'm like, "She doesn't want that." They couldn't believe it. Then Aura, Ben adopted her from another rescue when she was a puppy. But anyway, that's his dogs. So Canine Revolution apparel on Amazon. We've got nice pity shirts. We've got Canine Revolution shirts. We've got rain jackets on there. We've got mugs on there. Oh yeah, the rain jackets are nice. We also have a guinea shirt on there. We've got a chicken shirt on there. So anyway, wide variety.
Guys a lot when the weather changes. I'm like, are they
Oh, do you?
their butts off? Are they
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, so protocols for the rain. If it's a light rain, if the dog doesn't want to go out, don't take it out. If the dog's okay with going out, take it out. If it's a heavy rain, no one needs to get soaking wet, so just stay inside. If it's lightning, stay inside, So that's basic weather protocol. If it's freezing, dog's got to go potty. If it's hot, dog's got to go potty. Now, that's one thing I think most people misunderstand about, like, operating a dog business is 24/7, baby. 24/7, 365. And so
From a business perspective, staffing for that
it's challenging. But Christmas, dogs got to go out. So we pay extra for Christmas, obviously, but for our employees that work that day. But dogs still got to go out. So it's just part of the gig, Anyway, and then, obviously we have a YouTube channel. So if people want to check us out on YouTube, they can do that. And then share those videos, help spread the message.
seriously watch them and share them and spread it.
And if you have feedback,
Relationship with your dog.
absolutely. If you have feedback on a video you want to see, you let us know. We do our best. Ben has a note basically where he keeps a rolling log of videos that we need to make, and then he's like, "Hey, we got to make a video," because I'm training. He's like, "We got to make this video." I'm like, "All right, let's make the video." And then we'll do the car wash videos. Then we'll do the music videos. So whatever. So
Every time I think I've got you figured out. This is very.
I told you I got my head's going crazy, ADHD all the time, Also, Jocko Fuel, So take a couple of these home for Mark. Let him try them out. Try them out yourself. But Jocko Fuel, made in America, sourced in America for America, right? So code SINGER101 gets you 10% off. These are the clean energy drinks, but they have everything you need on there, protein, everything. Also, Origin USA is like their durable goods, like jeans, shirts, belts, whatever. Made in America, it's made in America, sourced in America, like the jean cotton, literally sourced, nothing imported from overseas. So we're trying to support America, So we got that going. And then we are coming up with a new certificate program, like NFT program it's first for our alumni. But basically what we're trying to do is partner with local businesses to get you discounts and like different perks at different local businesses, so you can take it'll be on your phone, so you can take your digital certificate there, scan it, and then you'll get the perk. So we're trying to build that to support local business and support local people, and support our dogs, So that's about it. But anything you got to plug?
We'll plug Lena.
Lena? She's up for adoption. Hey, show her on the camera, dude. She's over here snoring. Well, you just woke her up, but she's over here snoring. She's enjoying herself.
And I've said some challenging things about Lena today, because that's kind of, what you do. It's the niche.
Yeah.
But she is truly an incredible dog. She's happy. Her tail's always wagging.
Oh, yeah.
She's very affectionate.
Oh, yeah. So if you like affection.
She loves cuddles. She loves to play. She's just working through a little bit of leash reactivity.
Yeah.
With other dogs.
And she's come a long way.
Really is coming a long way.
She's at the tail end is what I call it.
Yeah.
She's at the tail end.
And we adore
Yeah.
every door.
And if you do want to adopt Lena, you can reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with the rescue that's in charge of her. But basically, if you adopt her, that comes with full training support from our team, which is me, basically. I was her trainer, so I'll be at your house, you know. So maybe you'll be on the podcast. With that being said, if you're a listener and you want to do what Jessie did, she was like, you know, we were talking about the podcast. I was like, why don't you just come on the podcast? So if you're a listener, you have feedback, you know, let's do it. Let's have you on. We'll talk. Good to go. So from here on out, Jessie, compile your next list of questions. We'll do it again.
I love it.
Every so often.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
Part 2. I love
Get
it.
you going. And you do have to get the new Peter Attia book. Have you
No,
you
I
got
haven't,
it
I
yet?
promise you. I mean, I probably sent a copy to my brother too, and I sent him that
Okay.
Merrick.
Oh, yeah, Merrick Health. Yeah, they're great.
I sent him that, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this November, December, I'm doing an update to my health podcast I did last year. And it's going to include my blood work. It's going to include my experience with Merrick Health. I got a couple things I'm doing between now and then. So little update for everybody. So we'll talk more about that then.
Yeah.
But I'm into health and fitness. Jessie's into health and fitness. Her husband's into health and fitness, which he's coming on the podcast. And real quick, tell us that Mount Everest competition he did. Real quick.
29029, which.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, so that is the name of it. The founder is named Jesse Itzler, which a lot of people sort of in the growth world, they know of him. But he's also an endurance athlete and basically was like, well, we've done running endurance, we've done swimming endurance, sort of what else is out there in the endurance field that we haven't done.
Yeah.
And so 29029, you basically, they find a mountain, they figure out how many times you got to climb up that mountain to get to 29,029 feet.
Which is the height of Mount
Which is the
Everest.
height of Mount Everest, and then you have to do that. I gotta say, it's in 30-something hours. I want to say it's under 48. So you
Nonstop.
Well, you can stop to sleep for a little.
Oh,
while,
okay.
A little or long. You choose to do that.
You just have to complete it within.
You have to complete it within.
Yeah.
Yeah. These two bookends of time. So Mark did that. He did that last year. I'm insanely proud of him.
You were there with him, right?
You
weren't there.
On from afar.
Okay.
Take care of Lena.
That's right.
But it's physically exhausting, but it is mentally something else.
Oh yeah.
And Mark has a few endurance things under his belt that that'll make him pretty interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll change the way you think about things.
Well, he had to climb it how many times? 32 or something?
No,
or?
it wasn't that much.
Oh, really?
Because he was at somewhere in Utah, Sun Basin.
And you're just going up?
In the teens.
You're rappelling down?
You go up, you take the gondola down.
Okay.
Go up, you take the gondola down.
Okay.
You take the gondola
Good
down.
night.
Yeah. So I think his was in the higher teens. I think if you were to do one of the mountains in Vermont, they're smaller, so you got to go up.
Oh,
and down
okay,
to,
okay.
Like 20.
Dang.
If you do Whistler, it might be in the low double digits.
Dang, that's crazy.
But it's mentally, Then
Yeah.
he also, just to keep plugging Mark, he rode his bike from Boston, Massachusetts to Portland, Oregon.
Oh, really?
As well.
Oh,
So
wow.
that
Oh, dang, I didn't know about that
he,
one.
Really mentally put his business back together while he was on that trip. So that'll be, yeah.
Good discussion, because he's coming on. We're talking about business and entrepreneurship, so it'll be very interesting to talk to him.
Mental fortitude. Mark's a good mental fortitude.
He also likes fishing.
Oh God.
I seen his Instagram one day. He was like, had to pull over because I saw this fishing. So he pulled over on the side of the road, started fishing this random place. I was like, this dude loves fishing, bro.
For the longest time, he's got a box truck for his business. He
Yeah.
used to have a kayak. I mean, that was
Strapped to it or in it.
in it. And this thing was held together by hopes and poles that you glued together, and you
Yeah.
back up to a little creek and pull the kayak out of a box truck. It's
Nice.
Charleston redneck. Ever seen. But yeah, he's got a-
How'd you guys meet originally?
we were living in Maui.
Oh, dang. I didn't know that.
I moved there after college.
He was living there?
I was living.
Oh, you were living there.
And I played on a co-ed soccer team with his best friend from Charleston.
Oh, dang.
And he and I were friends, and he said, I've got a friend moving out here. I think you guys would really hit it off. And
Dang, that's cool. Maui.
16 years ago.
Maui. The magical isles of Hawaii.
Yep.
Why'd you leave Hawaii?
I left for Mark.
Oh, shoot. He took you off the island.
I was a little ready to go. But I didn't know what to do. But he and me into moving to the U.S. Virgin Islands. So we landed in St. Thomas, which is a place that Mark has familiarity with and lived there in the past. But that was a bit of a disaster. It didn't last there long. Wound up in Boulder, Colorado, and then from there to here.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mark's from here.
Okay. Yeah. Dang. Wow, what a ride. Yeah. What a ride. Yeah. Crazy. All right, well, thanks for coming on, Jesse. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you as a friend and a Canine Revolution team member, you know? And, of course, anything you need, you just let me know.
Oh, I will.
So, all right. Well, thank you to the listener.
Yes.
And until next time,
Yes,
Pack Talk Podcast, out.
Out.